we should have a timekeeper. If there's someone on the board that doesn't mind keeping time, that would be great. If not, then I can do that.
All right.
Colby Fred is here.
Yeah, I can't get him yet. I'm still, YouTube is still setting up.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm going to pass it on, right? I'm going to pass it on to, well, I'll do it. And then, yeah, I'll bring Fred on. Hold on. Okay, good. It looks like I got it.
Fred and Catherine.
Yep, I'll be right there. Okay, good. We got that. Go back. You guys. And I see Catherine, panelist. And I see Fred, the panelist. Okay, all right, and we're going to hand this over to Erica right now.
Okay, we're still missing a couple board members. Jake, okay. Kevin, Matt, and Arthur.
Looks like I'm host now, Kobe, so thank you.
Good, good, good. We're still going to give, I think we'll give a couple board members a few more minutes.
Matt just showed up, Colby.
Oh, good. Okay, see if I can bring them on. No, actually, Erica's going to have to do that.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not seeing Matt on the.
Matt is 1, 2, 3. Up. I think you got him. No, he's at the top. He raised his hand.
Oh, I see now. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Kevin is coming on. I texted him. He's on his way. He'll be here in a minute.
Okay. Did you text Arthur? Here, I'll do it.
He's next. Hold on.
I got him.
You got him? You
I got him. Okay. The only one we need is Jake if he is coming.
Okay. I'll text, see if I'll text Jake.
Okay, Kevin just got on.
Good. Okay.
So we're just waiting for Arthur and Jake if they show up. Maybe Jake's on vacation. Let's hope.
Okay. Okay. Let me get Arthur.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Well, we could start Arthur's.
Arthur, yeah. Hopefully, if you notice Arthur's here, I need to know what time.
Okay.
Just before you start, I would like to tell you that I'm getting signs on my computer, perhaps because of the heat outside, that the signal is weak, just so you know, in case it cuts off or something.
Okay. Thanks, Jonathan. Arthur's logging in right now.
Oh, wonderful.
And just as we wait for Arthur, Jonathan, in the case that you do get that unstable or weak signal again, it may help if you turn off your camera. So if you do see it getting pretty bad, sometimes turning off your camera helps.
Okay, thank you.
Just for those of you just joining us, Erica is going to run the meeting up until the new president is elected. So it's going to be a little bit different tonight, since this is our annual meeting.
Okay, we'll give Arthur a minute more, and then if not, we'll just get started.
Okay. I see Arthur in the attendees list.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we should be all set now. Okay. I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, looks like we're all set. So good evening, everyone. My name is Erica Gatika, and if you don't know already, I'm the Neighborhood Empowerment Advocate for the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Welcome to the meeting of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Board Council. Today is Tuesday, July 19th, 2022. I will act as the meeting moderator until selection of the president, which is item 4, motion B. I will announce when it is time for public comment, unmute participants who wish to speak, and will conduct a voice vote by roll call of the board as needed. For everyone listening to this neighborhood council meeting, all attendees are muted and will be unmuted when called upon to give public comment. During the meeting tonight, we'll discuss the items listed on the meeting agenda in numerical order unless I receive a request from the board member to take an item out of order. Before we make a decision on any item, members of the public will have an opportunity to provide comments on the item under consideration. When the agenda item is open to the public comment, the following steps must be completed to be recognized by the moderator. For telephone attendees, press *9 on your dial pad, and for computer users in the Zoom window, click the raise hand option. The moderator will see all who indicated that they would like to comment and will allow comments on a first come, first served basis as time allows. For public comment, when it is a member of the public's turn to speak, the moderator will announce either the last 4 digits of the telephone number or state the person's name as indicated on the Zoom participants list. The moderator will unmute the speaker and ask that they state their name for the record and proceed with their comment. When the time has expired, the moderator will mute the speaker and advise their time for comment has concluded. If you have a general comment on an item that is not listed on the agenda, you may provide your comment during the general public comments portion of the meeting. General public comment is listed to 2 minutes. No individual speaker will be allowed more than that time unless the presiding officer of the board decides differently. General public comment should be directed to the board rather than to individuals. Please understand there are applicable laws that limit the actions we may take during tonight's meeting. Thus, we may be legally prohibited from acting on a concern that you have expressed. However, your concern may become the topic of discussion at a future board meeting after we have had the chance to list the item on the agenda. Public comment will occur during item number 2 of today's meeting. And this goes to a reminder to the board. Any board member who may have a conflict of interest and has not consulted with the office of the city attorney should have to have the matter tabled until the next meeting so that the board member has an opportunity to consult with the city attorney's office. If the board declines to table the matter, the board member may want to consider recusal prior to the matter being discussed. If choosing to recuse, the board member should state for the record all reasons for the recusal and that they will be leaving the meeting during the discussion and voting. Because recusal may not always be sufficient, tabling of the matter at issue is always preferred to allow time for the board member to consult with the city attorney's office. So with that being said, if you do need to recuse yourself, please turn off your camera and mute yourselves at the start of the discussion. So with that, this meeting is being called to order. Robin, please conduct the roll call of the board members. When your name is called, please indicate your presence.
And I just wanted to say that the meeting started at 7:08 p.m. I just wanted to clarify that. Colby,
Here.
Catherine.
Sorry, here.
That's
Here.
okay. Arthur,
Here.
Robin, I'm here. Shannon,
Here.
you, okay. Ren,
Here.
wonderful. Fred,
Here.
Matt,
Here.
Lee,
Affirmative.
thank you. Susanna is excused. Jonathan,
Here.
Tess. Here. Kevin,
Here.
Sean,
Here.
and let me just look real quick. I don't see Jake. Jake, are you here? I believe,
Hey guys, can you, oh, there we go. I was gonna ask you to mute Lee, but you did, so.
okay, Jake is excused. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 out of 15. We have quorum.
Thank you, Robin. Okay, so moving over to item number 1, motion A, approval of the Greater Toluca Lake June 21st, 2022 General Board Minutes. Are there any comments or amendments?
Do we
Board
have a
members?
first?
Okay.
I need a first.
Catherine will first.
Thank you, Catherine. I need a second.
Second, Tess.
Thank you, Tess. Any discussion on the matter? Any members of the public? Please raise your hand. I don't see any. I'm going to take a vote for motion A to approve the GTLNC June 21st, 2022 General Board Minutes. Catherine,
Yes.
Arthur,
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Shannon? Shannon? Shannon,
Yes, I'm sorry. I'll keep it unmuted.
that's okay, no worries. Ren,
Yes. And Shannon, you shouldn't stay unmuted. You've got to be muted and tell your votes.
Oh, okay. I'll skip faster.
okay, don't worry, I can see you. Ren, Fred,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Lee,
Affirmative.
thank you. Susanna is excused. Jonathan,
Yes.
Tess,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
and Jake is excused. Okay, motion carries.
Oh,
Oh,
wait,
wait,
I'm a
Colby,
yes. I'm a
Colby,
yes.
thank you. Motion carries 13-0-0.
Okay, thank you, Robin. Moving over to item number 2, open public forum. Speakers will have 2 minutes to speak, so please raise your hand and I will promote you or allow you to speak. Okay, we have Lewis going first. Lewis, you can speak now.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. Louis Scalacci in the Western Toluca Lake neighborhood. Just wanted to take a moment as we go into the evening to thank some folks. We've had quite a bit of work being done by Tess, Jonathan, and Colby along with our field reps, Steve Ferguson, Jason Maruka, and Tiffany Zaituni, and trying to clean up a lot of the challenges we've been having over here. And we, even just today, Tiffany, I don't know if you're listening, but the median got cleaned on that curve. So it was really exciting to see. And those street lights are going in. We're getting a lot of work done, and I just wanted to make sure that we are acknowledging all the folks that are working to make this right. So still a lot of work to do. We still have to get some folks some housing, and make sure that we can get some more improvements. But really great progress, and I wanted to thank the folks involved in making it happen. So that's all I've got to say tonight. But I won't take a lot of time. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Louis. Moving on, we have David Wheatley. David, you now have permission to speak.
Thank you very much. David Wheatley. I'm a stakeholder in Toluca Lake. I'm a stakeholder in Silver Lake, where I'm co-chair of the Land Use Committee of the Silver Lake Neighborhood Council. I've been watching, shall I say, monitoring with great interest the development at Coenga Bloomfield, which has been in the works for 3 or 4 years now. I hope everyone is having a chance to drive by and see the scale of it, that it is quite enormous for a community like Toluca Lake. This project was, I believe, inappropriately approved by the Toluca Lake Land Use Committee, and also inappropriately approved by the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. And when members of the public found out about it and asked for a rehearing, it was denied by the leadership of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. So I'm requesting that some of the more driven people on this particular board initiate an investigation as to why this particular project was approved with little or no community opposition or no real notice to the community, so that the community could speak up in a timely manner and have a say about how it unfolded, which is a giant, giant project. I hope everybody will have a chance to go by and look at it and see what happens when the justice of the system is carried out the way it was carried out by Toluca Lake Land Use and the Neighborhood Council. As far as housing crisis, the housing crisis we have is at the low end of the economic spectrum, whereas just about everything being built in Los Angeles and all up and down California is being built at the high end, many units of which are being left vacant. So we have a serious housing injustice problem, and I hope that this board will be able to discuss that, not in a way of the words that are being put into people's mouths and minds, but in terms of what is really happening. I'm so happy Jonathan Gregory is on this board, as he's a sage voice. I hope we'll hear more from him. I see his hand is up. I almost want to stop talking to listen to him. So I hope that this particular group will become more just and more discerning and think about process. And just because people aren't here doesn't mean they don't care. It could mean they didn't know about it, and that the powerful interests should not be allowed to bulldoze buildings and push people around in Toluca Lake or anywhere else. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Jonathan, did you have a question or a comment?
This is Lee. Can I comment?
Oh, of course. Let's go with Jonathan first, since he had his hand up. And then
Erica, can I clarify? Isn't this public comment time where stakeholders, not board members, are speaking?
Yeah, he loves
yes.
it.
So if that's why I was asking if Jonathan just had a quick comment or a question.
I think he's frustrated because he doesn't know how to help you.
Okay,
Like
wait, first of all, Lee, you need, there you go. And
Jonathan, Catherine is correct. So this is not necessarily for board members to speak, but I will allow you to make a quick comment or a question if needed. Okay.
If this is not the time for a board member to speak, then I choose not to speak. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, let's see. I'm not seeing any other hands in the attendees list, so we will move forward over to item number 3, city and neighborhood news and announcements. If you are,
I see Tiffany.
Tiffany?
CD4. I mean, CD2, sorry.
Thank you for that, Robin. Hi, Tiffany. You're allowed to speak.
Hi, Erica. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for acknowledging the work that we're doing and what we're trying to do to make the city a better place. A couple of the lights have been fixed on Riverside Drive. I have been reached out to by constituents, so I just wanted to flag that. If there are some areas with lighting issues that are still kind of areas of concern that have been backlogged for a while, please feel free to email and flag them for me. I did also want to just flag for everyone that this weekend on Saturday, July 23rd, marks the first day of our NoHo Summer Nights free concert series in North Hollywood, in case you missed that. It'll be for the next 4 Saturdays from July 23rd to August 13th. I also wanted to let a few of you know about the watering day schedule that went into effect, I believe, on July 6th officially. And if there's more questions, I know we had some questions from Garden Club previously. If there are some more questions about the watering schedule and what limitations there are, happy to work with folks directly on that. We're kind of short on updates this month just because council is currently in recess. But if there are any concerns from community members, happy to help out where I can. Thank you.
Okay, Erica, I also see Jason Maruka.
May I make a,
Jason, you have permission to speak.
Okay, can you hear me? There we are. Okay, good to see some of you. Jason Maruka from Supervisor Catherine Barger's office. Just a couple updates from the supervisor's office. Thank you for that acknowledgement on the kind of addressing some of our problem areas around Toluca Lake. I know that we've been working closely with all the stakeholders and the other elected offices. So we appreciate that. And, we'll continue to be as responsive as we can. One important update from the board, as you may have heard, there's a mask mandate that is likely coming back into the county. Last week, the county entered the high tier zone for the CDC for transmission. So we'll be looking at that. I know Supervisor Barger has expressed her concern about this, just in terms of implementing mandates that are inconsistent across county lines and creating confusion. The supervisor has always said that we should be aligned with the state and we should move in unison on that. So while she, encourages people to take precautions to protect yourself, such as vaccines and other treatments, she strongly encourages everyone to wear the masks and in crowded settings. But at this point, it's important that we have clarity and consistency in our messaging. So again, kind of a light day, light month from the board. So that's my only report. Thank you for having me.
Jason?
Erica, I don't see any other public leaders.
Okay.
If
In
you
that
are,
case,
yeah. Mhm.
I'll just take the time now to read my announcements. I just wanted to remind the board that every month our department pushes out a monthly profile, and that, I'm sorry, Tess, did you have a question?
yes, I wanted to ask Tiffany a question if she's still here. Is this the appropriate time to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, Tiffany, are you still here?
Yes, she is.
Oh, excellent. So Tiffany, I want to echo the earlier comments. We really appreciate what you're doing because we have a high level of need in West Toluca Lake, as you have observed in practice. And I wanted to ask you when we will get the second part of the power wash on the Vineland underpass. that you and I discussed about a week or so ago. Do you have an idea on that?
I have submitted the request to
Okay.
our LA Conservation Corps team. It's on their pending list, and they had maybe 2 or 3 projects above that had been submitted prior. So probably within this upcoming week.
Good. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Not seeing any other hands. So I will proceed with my announcements. So as I was saying, every month our department pushes out a monthly profile as mentioned previously. And in this monthly profile, our department provides updates and announcements that pertain to the neighborhood councils. And so I will be just highlighting a few of those announcements. But before I do so, I did just want to recognize that the election strategy plan town hall took place this past Saturday, and I assisted with this town hall, and I did see that we had representation from the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. So I wanted to thank you to those members who attended. As with other workshops and town halls that we hold, we can expect the recording as well as the documents to be on our website. I do not know if they've been posted yet, but I will be sure to check and let you all know. So in that case, you can review it on your own time. Next, I wanted to share that the city clerk's office is now offering funding trainings available for this month as well as next month. So they are offering a variety of dates and times available if you're interested in attending those trainings. I also wanted to note that I've been doing my best to get a contact from the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority. So that way we can get a representative to come out either on a monthly basis or periodically, whether that means every 2 months, every quarter. So our department is currently working to get that contact established for you all. And I think aside from that, those are the only items that I wanted to highlight. But again, I strongly encourage you to review that monthly profile. Any questions?
And the only hand I see is Lewis, again, member of the public.
Okay, let's see.
I see Jonathan Gregory also.
Oh, that's right. Okay, 1 second, please. Jonathan, yes.
Hi, Erica. Thank you. Had you gotten any response regarding what we're calling Gascon policy letter? You were going to get back to us on that. Thanks.
Yeah, so I've not heard an update from the city attorney's office quite yet. So I imagine that they're still in the works of trying to figure out what's the best way to go about that. I will also note that in the CIS that you provided, in which another NC had done similar to what we're trying to do here with that Gascon letter, at a preview look from the city attorney's office, they said that it was different from what we're trying to do. So for that reason, it was going to take a little bit more time. So there's no precedence in what we're trying to do with the Gascon letter. So aside from that, I have not received any other updates. Not seeing any more
Just
hands from the
the
board.
public, Lewis.
Just one public. Lewis, you have permission to speak.
Lewis, you're muted.
That may be a hand from previously, so.
Okay.
So,
All right.
okay, so moving on here. So we are now at item 4, Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council Committee reports. And on here, we are welcoming 2 new board members, Shannon Hartman and Jonathan Gregory. If either one of you just want to quickly introduce yourself for those that weren't in attendance at our last meeting, feel free to state your name and the seat that you hold. Let's go with Shannon first.
My name is Shannon Hartman. I'm currently the Toluca Lake Chamber of Commerce president, and I'm honored to be here. And I'm a lifelong Angelino. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Jonathan?
Thank you. I can immediately say what I'm not. I'm not a sage, but I'm very flattered by Mr. Wheatley's comment. I just work hard to do the best I can, and I believe in not giving partial. I just try to do the best I can, and I'm here hoping that we can get some order over the number one problem on the mind of stakeholders, and that's the well-being, the safety, and the sense of ability to go about one's life without being fearful in the community. Thank you.
Well, okay, so next for the installation of the executive board. Let me just.
Motion B. Do you want me to read it?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Motion B, the board hereby elects, there's a space, as president of Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Do I have a first?
Sean. They want to get you
Came right
help,
out and told me.
but it's more like to get you help, not to put you away.
Thank you. I need a first.
Sean.
Sean, thank you. Can I have a second?
Shannon?
Ran.
I heard Shannon. Okay, we have a first and a second. Discussion. Does anyone want to submit a name for president, or would anybody like to proceed?
Robin, if you don't mind, at this point, I would just like to give everyone a quick overview of how this is going to work. And I do see Jonathan and Tess's hand up. So before I get started on that, okay. Tess, did you have a comment quickly? On the process?
I wanted to make a nomination, or should I wait for your comments?
Yeah, let's wait. Thank you.
Okay.
So that everyone has an understanding of how this process will work, we'll start, and I'm reading verbatim here. So if you would like to read with me, or if you want to see for yourself, I'm on the Greater Toluca Lake website under bylaws, and then I scroll down to standing rules. Standing rule annual meeting procedure. So again, as an overview, we're going to call for candidates. You could either nominate someone or nominate yourself. We're going to allow candidates to give their statement. We'll take public comment. We'll allow candidates to give their closing statement, and then we'll take the vote. So at this point, we are calling for candidates, and if you'll see here, candidates may be nominated from among the council members at the annual meeting by any stakeholder or council member, including self-nomination or nominating someone else. And actually, you know what? I won't read this, but that's where we're at. You can nominate yourself or nominate someone else. So Tess, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Mm-hmm. Oh, good. So I would like to nominate Colby Jensen to be president of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. I think there's a great deal of value and continuity of management, and I think it's in the best interest of this neighborhood council to continue with him at the helm for another year. I would also like to see mutual respect, which I think Colby has been very good in upholding, and that should be the governing principle in our progress forward together. I am very grateful for his moderate approach to this office, and I think we would be well served to have it continue through the next year, and I believe that our process benefits from it. So Colby Jensen for president.
Thank you, Tess. It's very, very nice of you.
Thank you, Tess. Jonathan, and then Catherine.
Thank you. Eric, I'm not entirely certain that I'm understanding the process, but I also would like to say a couple words about Colby, because I also would like, even though someone else nominated him, it's the same for me. Can I do that?
We are.
Erica,
yes, Catherine?
I do want to flag that the call for candidates is just to nominate, not to give a statement about why you're nominating them.
Okay, thank you.
Clarify.
Yeah, so at this point, we're only taking nominations. We will have time for board comment. So if you want to save your comment for that time, I think it'd be most appropriate. Thank you, Jonathan. Okay, checking in for any other nominations, self-nominations or nominations of other board members. Okay, not seeing any. Kobe, do you accept the nomination? And if so, we'll allow you to give your candidate statement.
I accept it. I'm very honored to have served the board, and I'm very thankful for the kind words tonight. So yes, I definitely do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving over to governing board comments. So non-candidate council members may comment on the candidates. The length of time for each governing board comment shall not be greater than time allotted to each public comment. Each council member is permitted to speak once per position. Candidates may not speak during governing board comment. So if anyone would like to make a comment, Jonathan, please.
Yes, thank you. I feel so strongly that Colby is an excellent president that I would like you to know, all of the board members to know, that even though I'm a very strong-minded, perhaps you could say aggressive on my beliefs, that I wasn't willing to use what our bylaws to force something on the agenda, because I think Colby has such good judgment and he's so good at working with varied interests of stakeholders and board members that I wouldn't have even dreamed of using our bylaws to force something on the agenda. I have that much confidence in Colby's judgment for making decisions on what's on our agenda based on things that a president has to consider, and that is keeping the council cohesive and functioning. That's important as well as getting things done. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you. Okay, not seeing any more hands, we'll move on to public comment. So members of the public may comment on the candidates. The length of time public comment shall be announced at the start of the meeting. I do see one hand up, Lewis. I'm not sure if that's the same hand, but Lewis, you've been given permission to speak. Lewis, you're on mute. Okay, I'm guessing that's an old hand, so we will move on.
Is there any way to lower his hand? I
Yes,
believe there is. Yeah.
okay. Thank you, Robin.
Sure.
Okay, so moving on for a vote, a roll call, or excuse me, candidate closing remarks. Kobe, do you have any closing remarks that you'd like to share?
Yeah, very briefly, you know, I inherited, I believe I inherited a board that was much more divided than anyone would have wanted. And my main goal was to unite the members of this board and therefore help unite the community. And I'm very happy to hear that some people believe we're moving in that direction. I'm very pleased about that. That was really my main role. And I'm also very, very proud of the work everyone's done in issuing NPG grants and things like that this year, and all the work that's been going on, especially in West Toluca Lake. And I stand by my statement that I really want to make the conditions seamless between Toluca Lake and West Toluca Lake and all the, all our villages to come together. So I'm very happy that I believe we're moving in that direction. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Kobe. Moving forward to a vote. Robin, can you call for a vote, please?
Yes. I just want to make sure I wasn't mute. Motion B, the board hereby elects Colby Jensen as president of Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Catherine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm 100% yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Ren?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Lee?
Damn, this won't work for me.
Lee?
And how,
Affirmative. It's not working.
how do I find out, like, I'm sorry, because how do I?
He said affirmative.
I know.
Yeah, he said affirmative.
I heard it. Susanna is excused. Jonathan?
Yes.
Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Jake is excused. And Colby, how do you vote?
Yes.
Motion carries 13-0-0. Congratulations, Colby.
Thank you, everybody. This is a very, it feels so good. Thank you so much. And I want to, again, continue all this great work that you're all doing. I guess all my job is really just to listen. And I'm going to keep listening. And I want to keep going down this path. Thank you so much for believing in me. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kobe. And so at this time, I will pass over the torch to Kobe to continue leading this meeting.
Thank
May
you.
I ask a point of order, Erica, before you leave? When there's no second candidate, is it simply acclamation? Does that apply here, or do we still vote?
We still vote because if I'm not mistaken, I read per the bylaws or somewhere in the standing rules that if there is not a nomination, then the seat is simply vacant.
Okay, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Erica.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you all for being patient. So let me go ahead and.
Make me host. Thank you for, yeah.
All right, Colby.
Yes, Erica's going to make me host, I believe. Let me see.
Oh, yeah.
Or now host. Okay, good.
Great.
And host.
So
Perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and read motion C.
Thanks, Robin.
Motion C, the board hereby elects and fill in the blank as Vice President of Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Do I have a first?
First,
Colby.
Tess.
Tess, thank you, Tess. Do I have a second?
Red.
Ren, thank you, Ren. Open for discussion and nominations. Nominations.
I nominate Robin Allen as Vice President. Any other nominations? I see Jonathan has his hand raised. Yes, Jonathan, let me see if I can.
I nominate Fred Iberi as vice president.
Okay, we have Fred and Robin. Any other nominations?
Why would you talk to Ava?
Right now, I'm doing my meeting.
Lee, I got to mute you for now, unless you have a nomination.
Okay, it's just that you're muted.
Okay.
I don't know how to do.
I can't bring up the
Here, all right,
microphone.
here, I know, because you're.
There we go. I'm sorry, I have Fred. Let me write this down. I have Fred and Robin as nominees for vice president. Please let me know if there's anyone else.
To clarify, both of them need to accept their nominations.
Yes, Robin, you accept? I think you accepted,
I
right?
do.
Okay. And then Fred, do you accept?
You know, I don't know, you guys. I think this deserves Robin, and I don't want to go up against Robin, and I think that Robin's the better candidate than I am. But if you want to put it to a vote, I guess I'm saying no. I don't accept it.
Okay.
But
You're
please, Robin.
declining the nomination, as I understand.
I think so. Yeah. But thank you very much, Jonathan. That's very nice of you. And if I had more free time in my schedule, I absolutely would say yes. But it'd still be a tough going up against Robin. But thank you so much, Jonathan. I really appreciate that.
I love you, friend. You're a good man.
Okay, with
Thanks,
that being said, it looks like we only have one nominee for vice president, that being Robin Allen. I'd like to hear from stakeholders. Please raise your hand if you have something to comment.
There's no
Comment
hand.
on this nomination. I don't see any.
Yes.
Board members, please raise your hand to let me know if you want to comment on this, on Robin's nomination. Okay, we're going to, I guess we'll go to just as a matter of procedure, a candidate statement. Is that correct, Erica? I believe a candidate statement. Robin, do you want to say
So
something?
the order is technically nominate, accept nomination.
Okay, and then
Candidates make a statement, the board comments, the public comments, the candidate has
Okay,
the
I did
option
it
to make
backwards.
closing remarks.
Okay, so Robin, go ahead with your, Robin, go ahead with your candidate statement, please.
Sure. I've been on the neighborhood council. I think this is my 5th or 6th year. I've been on the executive board for 2 years so far, maybe 3. I've been the secretary, and I have been actively involved in the community for 30 years. And I appreciate the nomination, and thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Robin. And we'll go to, I believe, a board member, and then we'll go to stakeholders for comments. Hi, Lee.
Lovely.
Hi, Lee. Do you have something to, do you have a question for Robin or just comment about this?
Can you talk?
Ask him to promote you.
Okay.
Like,
Is it on?
Yeah.
yeah,
ask him to promote
we hear you, Lee.
Okay, can I get promoted to panelist?
Yeah, you've been a panelist for a while. Yeah. Just, do you have a comment about Robin's, or a question for Robin about her nomination for vice president?
No comment on that.
Okay, that's what we're talking about right now. Okay, then we'll go ahead to stakeholders, see if they have any comments or questions regarding Robin's nomination for vice president. Stakeholders, please raise your hands. if you have a comment or question for Robin or about Robin and her vice presidency nomination. I don't see any or hear any. So moving
Right,
forward,
so
we're going to bring this to
let me read the motion
a
one more
vote.
time.
Yeah.
Actually, Catherine, would you read the motion since I'm the one who's being nominated, and I'll take the vote?
Okay, sure, yeah. So this is motion C. The board hereby elects Robin Allen as Vice President of Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council.
Great.
And
Catherine, how do you vote?
yes, absolutely.
No. Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, yes. Shannon? I
You
see.
have to unmute, Shannon. I can't hear you.
Yes. Give me a
yeah.
thumbs up. Fred?
Right.
Fred?
Ren.
Yes, yes. I'm here.
Did I
Sorry.
miss Ren? Ren?
No,
did
no, you missed Ren, but Fred says yes.
Okay, and Ren?
Yes.
Thank you. Matt?
1000% yes.
Thank you. Lee?
I don't know what to do.
That's affirmative. Am I coming through?
Yes, we got
are.
you.
Thank you, Lee.
Yes, on Robin.
Thank you. Susanna's excused. Jonathan?
Yes.
Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Jake is excused, and Colby.
Yes. Congratulations, Robin.
Thank you. Motion carries 13-0-0. Woo! Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
I'll
Robin.
keep you proud.
Thank you.
Motion D, the board hereby elects, fill in the blank, as treasurer of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. I would like a first, please.
Catherine first.
Thank you, Catherine. May I have a second?
Kevin second.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay. Do we have any nominations for
Yeah,
treasurer?
I will nominate.
I nominate Arthur.
Arthur.
And anyone who fights me on it is going to be sorry.
Arthur, do you accept the nomination?
I do accept the nomination.
Thank you. We will now go to board comment questions for. Or do you have a statement for us?
I've been doing this for a while. It's been a pleasure. It is a lot of work, but I do find value in it. And I look forward to continue serving. So that's it.
Thank you, Arthur. And we'll move on to board member comments or questions for Arthur. If we have no board member comments or questions, we'll move on to stakeholder comments and questions for Arthur. I don't see any stakeholders. Please raise your hand. A few more moments. I don't see any questions or comments for Arthur, so I say we move forward with the vote. Robin, do you want to run the vote? Or actually,
Yeah.
You're not secretary anymore. So I'll do it. Motion D, the board hereby elects Arthur Witzlack as treasurer of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Catherine, how do you say?
Yes.
I can run this. Arthur?
Okay.
Yes.
Robin is a yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Ren?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Lee?
Affirmative.
Thank you. Susanna is excused. Jonathan?
Yes.
Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Jake is excused, and Colby.
Yes.
Motion carries 13-0-0. Congratulations, Arthur. You're
Thank
a good
you.
man.
Shocker. All right, moving on to motion E, the board hereby elects, I'm sorry, step on your toes while we still do it. Hereby elects, short name here, as secretary of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Do I have a first on this one?
Robin.
Thanks, Robin. A second, please.
Second.
Ren.
I heard Ren. And we'll open up this up to nominations. I'm going to step in it and nominate Tess Taylor.
Thank you, Colby. I decline the nomination.
Okay. Any other nominations out there? Self-nomination.
I nominate Catherine Hatton.
I'm sorry, I decline.
Okay. I could pick somebody else. I was hoping Tess would do it. Let's see.
Is Erica still on? Erica, what do we do if we don't have a candidate for secretary?
Have a candidate, then I believe it is deemed vacant.
Okay.
But I can double check the bylaws now just to confirm, but I thought I had read something like that earlier.
Yeah, I think I heard that stated earlier also. Well, we really need a secretary. It's essential.
I raised my hand. May I nominate Shannon? Would she be interested?
Well, okay, I guess, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I did talk about this today. I'm still learning as far as the procedure, and I haven't even gone through the training yet. And I feel like I'm not quite prepared yet. Maybe a little bit down the line, but
Neither was I. Just FYI, this is kind of one of those things you just jump into head first. All of you.
Well, I'll add to it. I think I would need to. I've got 5 months left on chamber
that's right.
presidency, so I feel like I might be just taking too much on. But the next, it hopefully won't be vacant until January. But I think I'd be taking too much on at that point. Thank you, though.
Okay, thank you for explaining.
And for Mark,
I always felt that Jonathan would be very good. Jonathan's very detail oriented also. Jonathan, do you accept a nomination for secretary?
Unfortunately, I declined it. That's this type of skill I'm not good in, actually.
Okay, okay.
And by the way, I do want to say, I very much appreciate what Robin has done as secretary. I very much appreciate it, because without that, none of us are any good. Thank you, Robin.
My pleasure.
It's an essential position. And it's a good way to move up if you want to. You're on the executive board, and it's a pathway if you have interest in moving up. I'm going to call on Matt Kamen. Matt, I'm looking at you.
No, I'm sorry, I declined that as well. But I will second that, Jonathan. I think Robin's done an amazing job.
Oh, I do too. Robin's now vice president. And you can't, and no one person can fill 2 spots on the board.
I could try.
You know, let's see. I'm just gonna, Fred's amazing. Fred received a vice presidential nomination this evening. Obviously, he has the faith of board members. But I'd assume that I'm not there. So Erica, it looks like nobody has any interest in being secretary, which is an essential position. Do we move forward with the meeting of leaving that vacant and then figure this out at a next meeting or a special meeting? Has this happened before under your watch?
No, it has not. So for now, yes, I would say let's move on, and we will come back to this. In the meantime, I am going to be reaching out to my director and doing another review of our bylaws just to make sure we're on the right path.
Okay.
I will flag that the next thing up is the alternate secretary. So if someone is willing to serve as alternate secretary, then they could temporarily serve in the place of the secretary until a full-time secretary is selected.
I see, Ren, you had your hand raised for a moment. You have something?
Yeah, I just was going to mention that in the past, we've split up the job of secretary into 2 different roles. And that seemed to work for some years during the neighborhood council.
How does that work, Ren?
I'm sorry?
How does that work when you split up the roles?
Well, one is sort of handling all the correspondence and the the information going back and forth. The other handles minutes and the committee work. The committee work, I think, is the harder part, but there's a certain level of correspondence. You know more than I would.
Yeah, no,
Other kinds of correspondence.
the reason I ask is, you know, for a minute, our last assistant secretary was supposed to handle some of the work that was supposed to help me with correspondence and just reaching out to make sure I get minutes and bullet points and all that kind of stuff, agendas. And it just, what happens is it's more work for the secretary, because if you're in charge of everything, you kind of know what you need and you don't have to rely on somebody else getting it to you. So unless you've got two people that are extremely detail oriented, it's kind of a tough job to split. So,
And so, we'll have to, I guess, table this motion, table this, or just move on.
okay, so are we reading motion F, which is the alternate secretary? Is
Well, we should. It's on the agenda, so we should just go through the motion.
Okay, so motion F, the board hereby elects blank as alternate secretary of Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. They are a non-voting member on the executive board. Do I have a first?
Colby.
Thank you, Colby. Do I have a second?
Ren.
Thank you, Ren. Does anybody want to nominate somebody as an alternate secretary? I hear crickets.
It looks like, yeah, it looks like that'll be vacant for now. And that's a brand, as you know, it's a
Okay.
brand new position, which,
No.
well, okay, let's move forward. We can't even fill secretary, so I don't think we're gonna fill
All right.
secretary, to be honest with you.
All right.
All right, moving right along. This is interesting. So for the time being, for the sake of this meeting, I guess we'll have to wing it without an official secretary.
Yep, and I'll just continue to take the notes and assist you, Colby.
Thank
So motion G, the board hereby designates the president as second signer of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Do I have a first?
First, Jonathan.
Wait, I heard somebody and then I heard Catherine. Who was that?
Jonathan.
Okay, Jonathan. Catherine, I'll make you second.
Great.
All right, do we have any discussion on this? All right, let's take it to a vote. Motion G, the board hereby designates the president as second signer of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Catherine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Ren?
Yes.
Fred? Fred, are you there? Are you muted? Fred?
Oh, yeah, yes, yes, yes. I don't know if you
Great.
can hear me,
Thank you,
yes.
Fred. Thank you, Fred.
Oh, good,
Matt?
yes.
Matt?
Yes, can you hear me? It's like my connection was bad. I'm gonna call back in from my laptop.
Oh, okay, but I heard you. I heard you.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay. Matt,
Yes.
Lee? Lee?
Lee?
Affirmative. Can you read me?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Lee. Susanna is excused. Jonathan?
Yes.
Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
And Jake is excused. Colby?
Yes.
Motion carries 13-0-0. Ooh, we're moving along, people. All right. Motion H, the board hereby designates the president as primary bank card holder of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Do I have a first?
Catherine.
Catherine, thank you.
Jonathan, second.
Thank you, Jonathan. Any discussion on this matter? I don't see any hands, Colby. Let's take a vote. Motion H, the board hereby designates the president as primary bank card holder of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Catherine?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Robin? Shannon?
Yes.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I gotta ask Erica a quick question. Erica, are you there?
Here.
Question.
Do these, because the treasurer and the card holder and all the signer, they're financial?
You're right, yeah, right.
And Jonathan and Shannon are not yet,
Yeah, good catch. Yep. They can't vote on financial.
so they're ineligible.
Yeah.
So I have to go back and change both of their votes because they're both ineligible for treasurer, signer, and card holder, correct, Erica?
Yes.
Okay, so I will go back and change that. It'll be, instead of 13, it'll be 11-0-2. Okay.
Or are they allowed to first and second
Oh,
the motions?
Erica?
No, they also should not be allowed to first and second.
Okay, so let me, excuse me one second.
Motion G.
All right, let me finish this one and we're gonna have to, instead of Gregory, can I get a second for this motion?
Second.
Thank you, Tess. Okay, let me finish the vote. I did Fred was a yes. Matt,
Yes.
Lee,
Affirmative.
thank you, Lee. Susanna is not here. Jonathan is ineligible. Tess,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Jake is not here. Colby.
Yes.
So the vote is 11-0-2. And I'll go back. Let me get another first. Last motion, motion G, the board hereby designates the president as second signer of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. The first was Jonathan. Can I get a different?
Tess.
Thank you, Tess. And the two are ineligible, so I'm going to make that 11-0-2 and make both.
Technically, it's just 11-0-0 because 2 is for abstentions. They're not.
They're okay.
abstaining.
Okay, you don't count them even though they're, okay,
They're not abstaining. They're just not
they're ineligible.
eligible.
Okay, so let me just change. Give me one sec, sorry. Ineligible, and who was the other? Shannon. And then let me just go back and see the first and second. We're good there for the treasurer. Let me just make sure. Catherine and Kevin. And I'm going to make both of them ineligible. Is that correct for treasurer as well?
For the vote for treasurer for
Erica?
Arthur.
Erica, are you there?
Second. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so for treasurer, it's the same thing. It's because it's a financial issue. They are ineligible because they haven't done training.
That is correct. Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I am going to move down to, so motion carries for the primary bank card holder. Motion I, the board hereby designates the treasurer as second bank card holder of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Do I have a first?
Yes.
Tess, you are on the ball tonight. Second,
Sean. Sean.
Sean. Thank you, Sean. Any discussion on the matter?
Fred has his hand raised.
All right.
Hi, Fred.
Oh, hi, sorry. I just wanted to accept me on my laptop.
Wait, Fred,
On my phone, sorry.
That was weird. Okay, I guess not.
I guess not. Yeah. Okay, I don't see any hands raised, so we will take it to a vote. Motion I, the board hereby designates the treasurer as second bank card holder of the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council. Catherine,
Yes.
Arthur,
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Shannon's ineligible. Ren,
Yes.
Fred.
Yes, if you can hear me. I'm
Yes,
on my
I can
laptop
loud
now.
and clear, Fred.
Right, thank you.
Matt,
Yes.
Lee.
That's affirmative.
Thank you, Lee. Susanna is excused. Jonathan is ineligible. Tess,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Jake is excused. Colby?
Yes.
All right, motion carries 11-0-0. Thank you very much. Moving on. Wait, let me just
This
write.
is now we're doing the chairs.
Yes.
And I wanted to preface something real quick. Tess, I felt had a good idea how to do this. But Erica, do you want to talk about this, the consent calendar?
Erica?
Tess had a really good idea, and I want to implement it, but I don't think we can. Erica?
Yes, I'm here. I'm so sorry. I was on the phone with my director.
Okay.
Before I go in and talking about the consent calendar, I just wanted to let you all know that President Covey, as president, you are allowed to temporarily assign the secretary duties to someone. And for whatever reason that no one decides that they want to take up the position permanently, we do offer, you can always hire a secretary. And so if we're interested in that list of vendors is available on our monthly profile, specifically page 14. So I did want to let you all know that part. So if no one is,
when you say hire, is there like an approved list of secretaries who work for the city, like that we vendors, you mean, or we just hire an outside person theoretically? I don't think we're gonna do that, but
the city has a vendor list that we can choose from for secretary duties.
okay. I really don't want to do that. It's just a lot of money out the window, but okay, that's good to know as a fallback. Okay, good. And then regarding this next part of the meeting, which is the election of committee chairs, Tess and I had spoken about doing a consent calendar for this portion of the meeting. Erica, then you and I had a discussion today. Can you explain a little more about this?
Yeah, so typically when we use the consent calendar, this is a very useful technique to approve items all in as a bundle. And so we do have some specific language that is helpful in putting on the agenda, but aside from that language that our department provides, it's not set up, the agenda currently is not set up as a, oh my goodness, sorry, consent calendar. It does not have that layout. So although specific language is not required, it doesn't have the layout. So unfortunately, we're not able to make a motion to approve these items in a consent calendar format.
Okay, so let's do it the old-fashioned way. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you, Jess. I think that was good thinking outside the box. So
Save time.
And then I had an idea before you move forward with the committee chairs. What are your thoughts, board, about combining environmental and outreach? Because outreach and environmental, sometimes environmental has a lot going on, and sometimes they don't have much going on. And outreach has a lot going on sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. And Catherine has been the chair, and sometimes she can't even get people to attend the environmental meeting. And I'm sure other committees it's similar. But what can you combine them? Yeah, Catherine, go ahead.
So that was actually something I was going to bring up somewhat differently.
Okay.
I was going to ask if we genuinely have an interest in having an environmental committee. I think that the Outreach and Elections Committee, while sometimes doesn't have a lot going on, should generally, like I think that they should be actively participating in putting together the newsletter. And so, you know, their meetings should be active in the future, but I mean, I've had several meetings where no one shows up to the environmental committee except me. And we can't have a committee of one person. It's currently only 2 people, and that's not really an adequate number for a committee either. So my recommendation, as much as I hate to say it, I think we should suspend the environmental committee until we have greater interest and engagement in it. I also want to flag, I see someone, I see Jake might have joined the meeting.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, that's wonderful. What time? It's 8:11. I'll just mark that he's here now.
I just promoted him to panelist.
Great. Jake. Welcome, Jake.
Hi, Jake. Good to see you.
Hello, good to see you too.
big meeting tonight. All right, thanks for joining us. Okay, so how would we essentially dissolve that committee? Do we have a next agenda? Do we put it on, or I haven't. The bylaws have changed so much recently.
Yeah, I mean, we can just make a motion at the next meeting to suspend the environmental committee as a standing committee. We don't have our standing committees established right now. There maybe should be just a standing rule vote to state these are our standing committees. And we don't even really have to dissolve environmental because we're just stating next month or September, we do a standing rule that states these are the standing committees.
Okay, we'll put that on the agenda.
Unless someone
Or
really
Crane.
wants to be chair of environmental and join that committee and take over, but I can't show up for another empty meeting again.
Probably not. I'm happy if someone steps up, but okay. Let's move forward.
Okay.
Motion J.
Okay.
Yes.
The board hereby elects blank as chairs of Public Safety Committee. And it could be chair or chairs. Do I have a first?
Catherine.
Wait, let me just make sure I'm putting in the right place. Catherine, thank you, Catherine. Do I have a second?
Ren,
Thank you, Ren.
I nominate Colby and Robin to serve as co-chairs.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm going to decline your nomination. But thank you.
And I'm going to decline if you're declining, because I love working with you. So if you're declining, Colby, I'm declining.
However, I'm going to nominate Jonathan Gregory as chair of Public Safety.
I also thank you very much, but I would decline. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to nominate Shannon as chair of Public Safety.
Do I accept? Do I say that?
You accept?
I accept.
You accept. We have an acceptance. All right.
Bravo. Okay, well, hold on.
Right, I love it. Okay. All right. Well, any other nominations for Public Safety?
Nope, it doesn't have to be a co-chair. Yeah.
No, it can, and yeah, actually, if someone else wants to join in with this nomination, it can be a co-chair with Shannon too. It's a big responsibility, but it's really the most important. Arguably, I think it's probably the most important factor we have going on in our community right
Yes.
now.
It's a great committee. I love it.
Okay, I don't hear any other nominations. Shannon,
All right,
just
so
do
let me
like
read
before,
the
do a quick
motion.
statement, right? Is that the appropriate way?
So we do candidate statement, then general board comment, public comment,
Do
closing
we
remark.
need a candidate statement since it's just a chair?
Let's just do
I
one real
don't
quick.
need it, but if you wanted to, you could say something, Shannon.
Let's do something real nice and
My statement is I accept, and I would be honored to do it.
Oh, Shannon, you're the best.
okay. Any comments from the board regarding Shannon's nomination as Public Safety Chair?
I'm very glad to hear it. She's been active in cleanups, and hooray for you, Shannon. You have my full support.
Thank you, Tess. And please join me.
I don't see any other hands raised from the board. Stakeholders, please raise your hand if you have a comment or question regarding Shannon's nomination. Seeing none and hearing none, we're going to move to a vote.
All right, let me read the vote. Hold on, let me just get it in the right position. Motion J, the board hereby elects Shannon Hartman as chair. Let me get rid of chairs of Public Safety Committee. Catherine.
Yes.
Arthur.
Yes.
Robin, I'm yes. Shannon.
Yes.
Ren.
yes.
Fred. Fred.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes. Okay, Matt.
Yes.
Lee.
Affirmative, do you read?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Lee. Jonathan.
Yes.
Tess.
Yes.
Kevin. Sean, Kevin, wait.
Yes.
Kevin
Oh.
And Sean,
Yes for Sean.
and Jake, you are now here.
100% yes.
All right, Colby.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. I only have one excuse, so that's 14-0-0. Motion carries. Congratulations, Shannon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. Motion K,
Zero.
the board hereby elects the space for rent as chair or chairs of the Planning and Land Use Committee. First on this one.
Sean.
I saw Sean.
First, then Ren. Thank you both.
Got it, okay.
Um,
And we'll also open up for nominations. I'm just going to go ahead and nominate Fred Barry and Ren Blight as
I
co-chair.
second that.
I'm sorry, Tess, you said yes? Okay,
I second that.
great. Any other nominations for planning and land use chair? Okay, I don't hear any, so let's move forward and do a quick candidate statement from both of you. If you accept the nomination, do you accept the nominations?
Yes, on my part. Fred?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good.
Give a quick statement or any kind of statement you want to go forward with.
Well, I have to say that I had a rocky start as chair this time, and having Fred stepped in, I think has really smoothed it out. And I think we're getting to work pretty well as a team. I'll let Fred speak for himself, however. Fred?
Well, thank you, Ren, and it's been my pleasure to do this. It's a wonderful experience, and I'm so happy to be working with Ren and learning from him and partnering together to help the community and all of you and stakeholders. And it just turned into a really nice, organic, fluid situation, and I look forward to continuing along. And thank you for your support.
Thank you, Fred. I think you guys are a good team.
All right, I don't see any other hands, so I'm going to take it a vote. Motion K, the board hereby elects Freddie Barry and Ren Blight as chairs of Planning and Land Use Committee. Catherine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin is a yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Ren?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Lee?
No on Rand Blythe on land management. No, he's developer.
All right. All right, thank you, Lee.
Does he get to vote for Fred?
No, you can only vote yes
Ren
or
Blythe,
no.
he's
on
in
the
the-
Oh, I'm
co-chairs
talking
as
about
a chair.
clear messengers.
Lee?
So
Lee?
the rule is when you vote, you are voting
For
on
both.
the co-chairs as a pair. You can't
Correct.
vote for one but not the other.
So Lee, if you vote no for both. Lee,
In that case, yes.
thank you. Susanna is excused. Jonathan?
Oh, yes, they've both done a great job in that committee.
It's a
Thanks.
package deal. You get one or you get both.
Lee? Thank you. Tess?
Yes, I think the committee has benefited from both of them. Thank you.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Colby?
Yes.
Motion carries 14-0-0. All right. Congratulations. Good teamwork.
Good work.
Motion L, the board hereby elects blank as chairs of outreach and elections. Do I have a first?
Catherine.
Catherine, thank you. Do I have a second?
Tess?
Tess, I heard Tess. Discussion on the chair. Do we have any nominations? Sorry, do we have any nominations?
Matt, do you want to serve with me?
Yep, I'm in.
Woo!
Matt and Catherine for co-chairs.
All right.
Matt and Catherine. Any others? Looks like a good team. All right. Do you want to give a statement?
I mean, yeah, I'll go. So I honestly have really enjoyed working with Catherine on this one. So she puts in just so you know, Catherine puts in an enormous amount of time on this.
Yes.
So I'm happy to see that you're not, taking on everything like vice chair right now. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I'm in.
Yeah, I really enjoyed working with you, Matt. I am so grateful for you stepping up to this after we lost the previous chair. And I couldn't imagine taking it on my own.
Previous chairs.
Chairs, yeah.
All right, so let me just type in your names. Matt, Damon, Catherine Patton. All right, let me read the motion. Motion L, the board hereby elects Matt Kamen and Catherine Hatton as chairs of the Outreach and Election Committee. How do you vote, Catherine?
Yeah, yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Ren?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Matt?
Sure. Yes.
Lee?
Sure, why not? Affirmative.
Santa is excused. Jonathan?
Yes.
Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Colby?
Yes,
Motion carries 14-0-0.
that's great.
Congratulations,
There's a lot of work to be done.
Catherine.
I'm very happy about this. There's a lot of work to be done here with the website, and now that we are all paid up with our website vendor TYS, I'm very excited. Thank you.
Yes, yes, we have a lot of work to do. Motion M, the board hereby elects blank as chairs of Governmental Affairs Committee. Do I have a first?
Jonathan.
Thank you, Jonathan. Do I have a second?
Tess.
Thank you, Tess. Any nominations for this position?
I nominate Tess Taylor.
I second it.
Thank you.
Right, any other nominations? Any other hands raised? See,
Tess, do you accept the nomination?
accepted?
Yes. Yes, I accept. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
We move to
Tess, do
statement.
you want to give a statement?
I appreciate it. It's work, but I think we're getting things accomplished. I want to acknowledge a lot of work that Catherine put into the bylaws and the standing rules. We worked on that together, and I think they're improved. So I appreciate that, and I'm going to do my very best. Thank you.
Great, we're going to take a vote. Motion N, the board hereby elects Tess Taylor as chair of the
GAC.
Sorry, I skipped down. That's why I numbered these.
Trying to sneak a committee on me.
Yes, I did. I'm so sorry.
Save the environment.
Okay, the board, motion M, the board hereby elects Tess Taylor as chair of governmental affairs. Catherine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur,
Yes.
Robin, yes. Shannon,
Yes.
Ren,
Yes.
Fred,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Lee. Lee.
Your hard work.
Can you read me?
Into
Yes.
that.
That's affirmative. She'll be the best one you've ever had.
Susanna is excused. Jonathan,
Yes.
Tess,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Colby.
Yes.
Motion carries 14-0-0. Congratulations, Tess.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tess.
Now, motion N, the board hereby elects blank as chairs of Environmental Affairs Committee. Do I have a first?
Tess.
Thank you, Tess. Do I have a second?
I'm just going to say if no one seconds this, we don't have to open this as a motion.
Ooh. Okay, that's a good call. So we won't, correct?
Are there any seconds? I don't see any. Okay.
So how do I word this, Catherine? I word it as postponed or no second was given?
Motion was not seconded,
Okay,
so no discussion.
all right. Okay. Moving on. Motion O. The board designates blank as the approved Community Impact Statement, CIS, filers for the Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council, replacing all previous flyers. Do I have a first?
First, Tess.
Thank you, Tess. Do I have a second?
Catherine seconds.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yep, and
And I recommend that we follow sort of precedent, which has been the president and the governmental affairs chair at a minimum are designated as the CIS filers. We can have between 2 and 5.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
All right. So I guess Tess and I would be
Yes.
co-nominated. Someone would nominate us for this.
Okay.
Yes, I am nominating you,
And
Colby
me
and Tess.
and Tess. Okay. And Catherine, you've done this before, haven't you? With a portal and
Yes. So what happens is once we pass, assuming that we pass this, this will be sent over to Dunn to let them know that we've selected these filers. They will then send you 2 instructions for how to log into the system, as well as how to use the system and file CIS.
Now, since you've done it before, maybe you should be nominated also? I'm just thinking.
Catherine, is that any different from just filing a regular public comment?
Yes, it is. It's a special system that is for the neighborhood councils to use when you go in. I don't know if it's radically different in actual format than doing this as an individual, but it is a different system.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something that an individual stakeholder can't access, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'll accept the nomination.
I accept the nomination.
And then,
I'm also happy to help out. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Maybe we won't nominate you, drag you into this, but I'll seek your help. I'll give us a quick state.
It looks like Ren has a question.
Yeah, I would recommend we have a third person. And if Catherine is willing to do it, I think that's a good idea because there are times when things come up, they're a hot issue, and for whatever reasons, maybe Colby and Tess are out of town or not available to file. So, having a third person is handy. The other thing I've got to say is that there's a good deal of follow-up. Once we've gone on and filed a CIS, well, then you get a lot of feedback about other, when there are other comments, other actions on the council agenda and so forth. So it takes a little bit of time and effort to track your CIS once you've turned it in. So I recommend we have at least a third person.
Sounds good.
I agree. Or if Catherine, if you're not going to accept the nomination.
No, it's fine. I can do it. I would recommend that whenever a secretary is actually selected, maybe they are made a CIS filer as well.
Okay. So we'll do a triplicate nomination.
Yes, we can do 3 people at this point. It is a plural.
Okay. And then
sentence intentionally.
I see Erica has her hand up. Hi, Erica.
Yeah, I just wanted also to say that a form needs to be completed with the appointed CIS filers. So I'll be sure to provide that document in my follow-up email to the board.
Okay, thank you. All right, and then
we have
so
the other hands.
And then, my statement is, I think it's a good idea for 3 people, the 3 of us, do this, our elected position. That's my statement. All right, move forward to
Want me to read the motion?
And then vote.
Okay.
I don't see any.
Okay, motion O. The board hereby designates Colby Jensen, Tess Taylor. I'm going to put Catherine in here too. Hold on one sec. Catherine. And Tess, okay, motion O, the board hereby designates Colby Jensen, Catherine Hatton, and Tess Taylor as the approved community impact statement CIS filers for the Greater Duluth Lake Neighborhood Council, replacing all previous filers. Catherine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Ren?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Lee? Lee?
Affirmative, you read?
Yes, thank you. Susanna
Thank
is
you.
excused. Jonathan?
Yes.
Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Colby?
Yes.
Motion carries 14-0-0. Congratulations to our filers. All right. On to motion P.
This is a little more complicated.
Motion P. Motion P, to reconsider the GTLNC General Board's June 21st, 2022 vote on motion G, that the GTLNC send the following community impact statement CIS to the city regarding file number 20-1376-S3. Do I have a first?
Tess?
Thank you, Tess. Do I have a second?
Shannon.
Shannon, thank you, Shannon.
And we'll open this up for discussion. This is a little confusing, but if we remember back to the Healthy Streets vote reversal that we did up 2 or 3 months ago, this is very similar to that. And this is connected to motion Q, which is next. And this discussion is just a vote on a discussion right now.
Yes, that's all this is a vote to discuss this motion.
And then if we move forward with that discussion, then we'll move on to motion Q, which is to vote on reversing the vote from the June 21st general board meeting.
So a vote to yes means that we will reconsider the motion, which means we can open the discussion. And a vote no means that we will not reconsider, to reconsider the vote.
I see Catherine has her hand raised and she's good at this kind of stuff. Hi, Catherine.
Can I just ask a quick question? What is the reason given for requesting the reconsideration?
Because a board member who, because it's accordance to the new bylaws, a board member.
Right. What reason did they give to request the reconsideration?
Oh, they felt that the description on the agenda wasn't complete. In fact, that board member can, if they wish, they can speak up right now if they want to. But that's what that was the reasoning.
Okay.
It wasn't accurate, and the description given on the agenda wasn't accurate. Wasn't accurate.
Yeah, and if you actually,
sorry, go ahead.
If you actually read the motion, which not the motion, but the letter, it clarifies in much greater detail. I remember with the voting, we didn't have a lot of clarity about, there was a lot of, well,
what letter?
There was a not a letter, a
email
about this filing, and it had a much broader.
Do we have that letter?
Rob, it's in the email packet, right?
No. The actual filing number. We have the letter from the board member asking to reopen the discussion. All we're doing right now is discussing whether we should reconsider opening the discussion.
Right. I don't think I've seen the letter as to why.
Okay.
I don't think that was available to us, but can I just make a comment about reopening it?
Of course.
If I'm assuming this is because that the interpretation that was expressed at the last meeting by me was overly broad, and I will be absolutely thrilled if I am wrong. about it, honestly. But I still don't think we should reopen it because the city council motion itself is frankly terribly written. Like, it doesn't clearly state where or how exactly it would actually change the municipal code. I mean, it states the sections, but like within the section, if this is truly just about protecting right of way, it's already a protection available. You know, it, without getting too deep in the weeds, like, it's already protected up to 500 feet for sensitive use property, which includes public libraries. It just requires setting that distance and posting signage. So what is it changing? Is it removing the option to do less than 500 feet, which is sort of not what we do as GTLNC. We support letting communities have their own say within their own area. Does it remove the signage requirement entirely, moving it from section D to section A of that municipal code section? It uses the word library instead of public library. Does this expand it to any space that says it's a library? Like those little libraries people build, can you just blanket the city with them? Like, it's just a really poorly written city council motion. So unless we fully understand the actual implications of it, should we really pass a CIS about it? I don't think we should.
Okay, we have a stakeholder, Ron.
I have a comment too.
Okay, Tess.
So I was first contacted by a stakeholder to reconsider this, but with the new bylaws and standing rules, only a person on the prevailing side is able to do so. So I brought it forward, but that was rejected. But that stakeholder, who may wish to identify him or herself, wrote to Councilmember Boscaiano to get clarification of the language, which expressed clearly what the intent of the proposal. So that was that should have been included or was forwarded. I know that I forwarded it to Robin and Colby and got the permission of the stakeholder to include it. So that's where that's at.
Okay. Ron, Colby, do you see Ron?
Yeah, I see Ron. Yep. Hi, Ron.
Hi, I am this. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Well, I am that stakeholder. And I did contact Buscaiano's office, and I got a very good email explanation plus a copy of the original motion. And I'll read the original motion now. I move that the city attorney be requested to prepare and present an ordinance amending LAMC 14.18 and 58.11 or 56.11 to prohibit sitting, lying, sleeping, and storing personal property within 500 feet of a library. Presented by Joe Buscaiano. That was it. Now, the explanation, the clarification, which I think was, well, it was cloudy as to the understanding. Here's what I got back from Buscaiano's deputy. Ron, it was great talking to you today. Council members Buscaiano's motion requesting the city attorney draft an ordinance amending LAMC 41.18 and 56.11 to prohibit camping within 500 foot radius of libraries is attached and linked here. The council form number is 20-1376-53. And the motion is currently, I have bad eyesight, that's what takes us long to read. Currently pending in the Homelessness and Poverty Committee. These code sections regulate lying, sitting, lying, sleeping, that's 41.18, and storing personal property, 56.11, on public rights of way, streets, sidewalks, medians, pathways, bike lanes, bike paths, and staircases. The intent of the motion is to regulate these activities in the public rights of way within 500 feet of libraries. It is not to prohibit sitting, lying, sleeping, or storing property within the library itself. Section 544 of the city charter grants this Board of Library Commissioners full control of all library sites, unquote. So the council couldn't impose these restrictions on libraries themselves, even if that was the intent, and it's not. The board would have to do so. And that's it.
So I believe, or go ahead, Matt.
I'm just confused now because so we didn't get this in the packet earlier, so I didn't have a chance to really understand it. But if that's what Ron is saying, so what I'm confused about is that people can't sit, which is crazy, sit, lie, store anything within 500 feet outside of a library, but they can do that all inside a library? Is that what that's saying?
What it's saying is that it's up to the library commission to determine what goes on inside the library, not up to the city council. That's up to the library commission. Okay. This particular motion and these ordinances have no bearing within the libraries.
Got it. So, okay. So if I want, you know what, this is not the discussion right now. I understand. So we can get to
Yeah,
that.
this is just to reconsider opening discussion about this.
Yeah, so we have a long way to go. I see Tess, and then I saw Ren, and then Jonathan.
Yeah, so I believe there's enough here to reopen this, certainly because the confusion that was created was regarding the 500-foot radius. And Catherine was concerned that that was unclear. Did that mean inside the library or outside the library? That has now been clarified. And that was the point of confusion that was raised at the last general board meeting when we voted on this and is now cleared up. So if there's additional confusion, I think what Ron Babini just read to us clears up those questions.
Hi, Ren.
Yeah, I don't think we should spend more time on this. I think this motion was a political vehicle. It's not really intended to do anything. I think certainly the libraries need to be protected in a whole variety of ways. And I don't think this motion is going to move that forward in any particular way. I think it's just grandstanding, bluntly. And I don't think we should spend any more time on it.
Thanks, Ren. And I'm going to go to Jonathan.
I only think that we should open up the conversation on it before we proceed. Thanks.
I gotta say, I agree with reopening this up. Any stakeholder comments in this part of the discussion? I don't see any. All right, Robin. So let's unwind this. This will not.
All right. So motion P to reconsider the GTLNC General Board June 21st, 2022 vote on motion G that the GTLNC send the following community impact statement CIS to the City Council regarding file number 20-1376-S3. Catherine, how do you vote?
No.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Ren?
No.
Fred?
No.
Matt?
No.
Was that a no? Sorry.
That was a no.
Thank you. Lee? Lee?
Hi, Lee. We'll come back to Lee.
Okay. Susanna is.
Is it coming through now?
Oh, yeah. Yes. How do you vote?
Affirm.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jonathan?
Huh?
Yes, Jonathan, yes.
Yes, thank you. Tess?
Yes.
Thank you. Kevin?
Yes.
Thank you. Sean? Sean, I see you.
Yes.
Thank you. Jake,
Yes.
Colby,
Yes, so we have one,
let me, are you counting? Okay,
go ahead, just both count.
so I have Colby, yes, Catherine, no. Arthur, yes, Robin, yes, Shannon, yes, Ren, no, Fred, no, Matt, no, Lee, yes, Susanna, excused, Jonathan, yes, Tess, yes, Kevin, yes, Sean, yes, Jake, yes. Motion carries. 1, 2, 3, 4,
10,
5,
4,
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10,
10
4.
yeses. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 no's, 0.
No abstentions.
Great. Motion carries. We can now move on to motion Q. To reverse the GTLNC General Board vote it took on June 21st, 2022 on motion G, that the GTLNC send the following community impact statement, CIS, to the City Council regarding file number 20-1376-S3. Do I have a first?
Yes.
Thank you, Tess. Second, I'm sorry, I'm just laughing because you're so efficient. Second,
Shannon.
Shannon. Thank you, Shannon.
Discussion on this matter? Please raise your hand. It's the same thing, almost the same discussion as before. I see Jonathan Gregory. Hi, Jonathan.
Thank you. What I would like to add to the conversation is just the recollection that the previous problem was a lack of understanding of the words within 500 feet. It's buried in legal definition that it actually means without any comment. It simply means from the boundary of a radius from the boundary. So under no circumstances does within 500 feet pertain to the interior. It's from the boundary outward. The other thing I'd like to add is oftentimes we don't really think about what it's like coming from poverty. Libraries are avenues for upward mobility. They're not just buildings that we go in to get air conditioning, or that's why we find parents protesting when access is limited for safety concerns. They are literally pathways out of poverty. I know that because I've seen that with my own eyes. Thanks.
Thanks, Jonathan. Next up, I saw Catherine.
So I'll just reiterate a lot of what I said before, which is, and I don't believe that the letter from Buscaino's office really clarified. If this is truly just about protecting the right of way outside of a library, that's already allowed up to 500 feet. It's already in the municipal code. It just takes away a community's option to do something less if that's right for them. And it's unclear if this removes the signage requirement. And I'm a little unclear why they're singling out libraries and not the rest of the sensitive use property. I think it's a really poorly written motion, and I don't think that we should support it. And I don't disagree with Ren that it's probably just posturing. So I oppose this, even still. And I am glad that it is not about inside the library. I am very, very glad. It's terribly written and it doesn't make that clear, but I'm glad.
Thanks, Catherine. And then I saw Ren. Hi, Ren.
Yeah, I won't repeat too much, but I hate seeing us spend a lot of time discussing this. I'm really hoping it doesn't come out of committee. As Catherine pointed out, there's a lot of things wrong with this. It's not just the 500 feet. I don't want to go into all, what I've heard and seen about this. I've tried to avoid it because I don't think it's going to come out of committee.
Okay, and I see next up was Tess.
Hi, so the confusion that was brought up at the last meeting has been alleviated with this letter. The fact that motions are poorly written is true of many motions and many proposals in city council, and greater clarity is always desirable. I support this. I think it it accomplishes something important, and I will vote yes.
Thanks, Tess. Hi, Matt.
Hey, so yeah, listen, I've said my piece last time. I agree with Ren and Catherine. I think this is completely political posturing. And I also don't understand sitting. Like, if I sit in front of a library, how do you know I'm not homeless, right? It doesn't make any, I mean, so I'll give you guys an example, okay? I'll just give you a quick example. So I had a client, she was a victim of domestic violence, right? She escaped from the house in the morning with her 2 kids and a suitcase of her things. That's all she had. And she had to put them outside of the library so that she could go in, not be seen, not attract attention, and be able to find a homeless shelter for her kids. So when you're thinking about this and you're thinking about, you know, crazy homeless people or people talking to themselves, or people who are dirty, who smell, which is what we all think, there's a lot more people impacted by this than just those. So I just want to like make sure you guys understand that anything could change at any time inside the library. But by doing this, you're really not allowing people like this, like my client who was being abused at her house, to find safety. So this to me is just politics.
Thanks, Matt. Tess, you have a quick follow-up, then we'll allow the stakeholders to talk. You're muted, Tess.
Oh, great. So I wanted to respond to that, Matt. And the example you gave, that person would not be disallowed from the library, and I would welcome them into the library. So I don't think that would apply, and I'm sorry you disagree, and that's what I have to say.
All right, we'll move on to stakeholders. I don't see any other hands raised from any new speakers on the board, so we'll go to stakeholders. Please raise your hand.
I don't see any.
I don't see any stakeholders raising their hand. Okay, I'd say we move to a vote.
Okay. Motion Q. Well, before I do this, this vote, I'm trying to clarify. If we vote yes, it means we are reversing the board's decision to file a community impact statement, correct? If we vote yes.
So the board would file a community impact statement simply saying that we support that council file number, not support with amendment, not support with clarification, simply support this council file number.
Right.
Yes.
Ron, I just saw your hand. Did you raise your hand again?
I did, because you vote yes, you're voting to support Bruce Diano's motion, which I strongly recommend.
Right.
Okay. Motion Q, to reverse the GTLNC General Board vote it took on June 21st, 2022 on motion G, that the GTLNC send the following community impact statement, CIS, to the City Council regarding file number 20-1376-S3. Catherine, how do you vote?
No.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin? I'm a yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Ren?
No.
Fred?
Yes.
Thank you. Matt?
No.
Lee?
Can you clarify one more time what this particular issue is about?
If you are voting yes on this motion, you are just voting yes to reverse the community impact statement for file number 20-1376-S3.
You're voting to say we want to submit to the city a letter saying that we support this city council motion.
And to support this city council motion, it's a support of a 500 feet radius, no sleeping, lying, or
property
from the library. Lee?
I'll vote yes.
Jonathan?
Yes.
Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean? I thought maybe you were
Yes.
Sean.
Okay. Yes.
Yes. Jake
Yes.
and Colby.
Yes.
Okay, so let me read this. Colby is a yes, Catherine, no, Arthur, yes, Robin, yes, Shannon, yes, Ren, no, Fred, yes, Matt, no, Lee, yes, Susanna is excused, Jonathan, yes, Tess, yes, Kevin, yes, Sean, yes, Jake, yes, motion carries to reverse. And let me just count here.
11-3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 yeses, and 1, 2, 3 noes. Wait, 1, 2, yep, 3 noes. 11 yeses, 3 noes, and 0. 11, 3, 0. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Next up, we have an announcement of the GTLNC Youth Seat Candidate Application Period, Instructions and Deadline for Application and Date of Selection. And Jake, you can run again. Jake, how old are you right now?
Right now, I just turned 17.
Woohoo!
Yes. Okay. He just turned. Maybe Erica can. So if he just turned 17, he can't run or be a.
He is eligible, so you have to be between.
Because in a year from now, he'll be 18 or over 18.
Yes.
It's okay. You have to be 17 or under on the date you are appointed. So as long as he doesn't turn 18 before September 20th, which it sounds like he probably won't,
I will
unless
not.
he has a time machine.
Okay. All right. So he can do it again. Okay. That's good.
What was the date, Catherine? Turn 18.
So September 20th, assuming that we're sticking with planning to select the youth board seat at the next general meeting, which will be in September.
Okay, so he is eligible?
He is eligible because his birthday is, yeah, he is eligible, according to Catherine. And we will ask for other candidates also. It's just our duty to do so. I'll put that on the website. Details.
So Catherine's going to create a link for the website like she did for the candidates.
That was a great link.
Put that. It'll be basically the same thing. I'll put it up either tonight, depending how late we go, or first thing in the morning. It'll be available and it'll be open. Colby, is the deadline September 1st?
Yes, we discussed it. Yes, I like that.
So the deadline to submit an application to be considered as a youth candidate will be September 1st. You can find a link to the Google form on gtlnc.org within the next 24 hours. And this will be a term that goes from September, when you would be potentially appointed, when a youth member will be appointed, until August of next year. It's a 1-year term.
I see Tess has her hand raised.
Yeah, I would like the candidate statements and the applicants to be shared with the board. It's a public office and we're going to be deliberating to a certain extent. So I would like to know who they are in advance. Thank you.
Tess, yeah, we can do that. It seems fair. All right. And I think any other comments or questions from the public, also from the stakeholders regarding the youth board seat? Nothing? Okay. We're going to move on to the vote on the motion R, approve $200 annual fee for the Zoom license. Actually, it's called motion R to approve $200 annually for the Zoom fee.
We have a first.
Shannon.
Thank you. Wait, it's money.
Shannon can.
Oh, yeah,
I'll first. Catherine first.
Thank you, Catherine. Sorry, Shannon.
We're going to get your
Donald
name.
second.
And that was Sean.
Kevin, I think. Was it
That was
Kevin?
Was it Kevin?
Yep, I heard Kevin.
Thank you.
And any discussion on this matter from the board or from stakeholders?
Now, this was a fee that the city has now deemed each city council to pay for going forward, correct?
Once per year, and the city used to pay for this, and now it's our responsibility to pay for this. We're told.
And
So-
did anybody get the survey about whether we're going to do hybrid possible meetings going forward? I mean, is this something we're going to have to carry forward forever, Colby?
Maybe Erica has some guidance on that, but I haven't heard anything. Erica, any more thoughts or any more guidance from the city regarding hybrid meetings or in-person meetings?
Now, at this point, as Robin mentioned, we pushed out that survey. That survey is due Saturday, or let's see, July 22nd, which is Friday. So Friday, July 22nd at 11:59 p.m. And so our department's going to be using that survey to really help gauge and prepare to see if NCs are ready for hybrid or in person. But as of right now, we have not been given the green light to do so, and we don't have a time frame for that.
And Erica, do you think that it's going to be another year of Zoom calls?
To be honest with you, Robin, it's hard to say. I will say that based on the results that we've received, and this is based on what was shared with me last Friday. So we had roughly about 200 board members respond to our survey, and it really was looking like 50-50 as to, NCs being willing and others not being willing to go to in-person and or hybrid meetings. But aside from that, we're still in a state of emergency. And so again, we don't know if a year from now we will still be in this state, but again, we're just doing our best to prepare.
Yeah, the only reason I ask after filling out that survey, it sounds like it's going to be quite expensive for our little neighborhood council who's lost so much money already to have to provide, just to have a computer to take notes or a microphone or a screen or a camera or something. We're going to have to figure out, there's a lot of logistics involved, and it may cost us a lot of money to do a hybrid meeting. So I was just curious if we can escape one more year where we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, but I miss, well, okay, well, we can't, yeah, we'll see. But there's no answer right now for that.
Okay, I don't see any other hands, Colby, so let's read
Go through
motion R. To approve $200 annually for Zoom fee. Catherine?
Yes.
Thank you. Arthur?
Yes.
Robin? Yes. Shannon, you're ineligible because it's money. Ren?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Lee?
Affirmative.
Lee's having a party wherever he is. Susanna is excused. Jonathan is ineligible. Tess?
Yes.
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Jake is ineligible. Colby?
Yes.
So motion carries 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 0, 0. Motion carries.
Great, and that moves us on to Arthur and the treasurer's report.
Catherine, even though they're ineligible, so they absolutely are not marked on the graph, correct? If they're ineligible, they're not even counted.
I mean, they just get an I next to their name for
Yeah.
ineligible.
Right, so it's not even counted, it's just that many people, it's either yes or no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, I just wanted to clarify. All right.
All right, Arthur, take it away.
Treasurer report.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Shall we read the motion first?
Yes, I'll read it for you. Motion S to approve the June 2022 whoops, my screen disappeared. Hold on. There we go. June 2022 MER and expenditures for reconciliation submission to the city clerk. Do I have a first? Robin, Colby, you're second.
Okay.
Go ahead, Arthur.
Okay. So we had ended May with $27,000. We had $125 in operating costs. That is our $96 Google invoice, as well as MailChimp for $28.99. We had TYS. We had 4 invoices processed for a total of $6,000. Each invoice was $1,500. That was the full payout for the prior year. We had PALS of $5,000. That's the PALS NPG. We had the YMCA Youth and Government MPG for $2,000, and then the Rio Vista MPG for $2,500. Approved and processed. We had a June balance of $11,400,
And then the Garden Club NPG of $1,000, American Cancer Society NPG of $5,000, and Toluca Lake Elementary PTA NPG of $3,000 were approved and issued, but were outstanding. So we have an adjusted June balance of $2,419, which we will get as roll forward funds into the current fiscal year. Do we have any questions?
Let me look. See. I don't see any hands raised. Any questions from the public or board members? I don't see anything, Arthur.
Okay. With that being said, Robin, can you bring it to a roll call vote?
Of course. Motion S, approve the June 2022 MER and expenditures for reconciliation submission to the city clerk. Catherine, how do you vote?
Yes.
Arthur?
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. Shannon is ineligible. Ren?
Yes.
Fred?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Lee? Lee? Where's the party, Lee?
Affirmative.
Thank you. Tess?
Yes.
Now, what's
Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
I think it's a mechanic.
Eligible. Colby?
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0-0. Okay, oops.
Thank you, Arthur.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Arthur, and thank you again for all that you do, because it is a it is a big job. So thank you.
It was a big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill.
Pretty coming up.
So think about treasurer in 2023.
Next
Another
up,
open space.
we're going to move on to Planning and Land Use Committee. And we have Bren and Fred. Take it away.
Okay, I'm just going to go through these legislative things quickly because the legislature is in recess now, and it'll probably be September when they come back. We'll really have to start tracking these. It's not day to day, at least week to week, to see what's really surfacing and which of these we really have to take a position on. But at the moment, let me go through this. The council file, let's see, the homeless shelters. So the state legislative stuff, anyway, we're working on. The second, council file 220158, homeless shelters. That was a motion that is in the staff report back period. So once the staff reports back to committee, and it won't be this month, but it'll be early in September, why then we'll cover that and get back to everybody. Creation of the State Housing Authority. That's also problematic in a whole wide range of ways. So we'll track that and report back. The community plan. Now this is something I want to talk about a bit. Talked last time about the Ventura Boulevard, Cahuenga Pass specific plan. And I think that's gave us some hints about some of the development that they're looking for. But going forward on our community plan, I'm trying to set up a meeting with the planners for the first, the second or third week of August. And I've given them some dates as possibilities. We want them to present their draft community plan finally and give us a chance to hear what they have to say about it. We'll begin to ask questions. But once we actually have the plan, the draft plan in our possession and we can really begin to review it. I'm going to ask different members of the committee to take on different parts of the plan. It'll be huge. I mean, be hundreds of pages with all the attachments included. So it's going to need all of us to hunker down, take on various pieces of it and review it and get back to the neighborhood council with our recommendations. And I'd really like if any of the members of the committee, of the GTLNC want to join the committee on those discussions, I'd be happy to include them. Moving on, parking on Foreman. We are making some progress now. The city has approved the contract. I talked to WRT today, or D today, and they still haven't gotten it from the city. So it means I've got to make more phone calls and find out where it is in the mailroom or where. But they will. They're actually going to start go back and look at the file and start looking at the plans for that. The oversized fence request for 9950 Toluca Lake Avenue. Fred, you want to step in on this or you want me to keep going?
No, Ryan, I think you're better, more eloquent to explain this, so I hand it to you.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, the house is.
If any stakeholders, anyone has a question, feel free to, as you, Brent, I'm sure you would want this to stop.
Yeah. And we may, if the stakeholder has a representative, why we should ask him or her to speak as well. But the project basically is a fence at the front lot line along the street effectively. And it's a fence of a stake fence. It's got some airspace. In other words, it's 1 inch wooden stakes with 1 inch between them, open between them. So there is, some visibility through the fence, but it's 6 feet tall, and the actual gate going into the house is goes up to 7 feet. It's kind of an arch. It's better than a wall, but it's still pretty intrusive and right on the lot line. So we voted. It was a mixed vote. I think we were rejected at 5-3. 3 were in favor of approving it, and 5 of us voted to reject it. But I wanted to bring it to the neighborhood council for discussion. If there's a strong feeling that we should support this, why you can always reject the neighborhood council committee vote.
Tess has her hand up. No.
Yeah, Tess, you want to talk?
Yeah, Ren, thank you. So I was surprised to see this on the agenda because it was voted down in committee last week. And you're correct, it was 5-3, and you voted no. So since it was disposed of in committee, what is the basis for bringing it forward to the general board? Because if something is voted down in committee, is it not considered disposed of? I suppose a reconsideration could occur, but would that not happen at the committee level? So I'm surprised.
Let me answer that. I think it's important for the neighborhood council as a whole to understand what our positions on some of these things. We're going to have fences and walls coming at us a lot. And I think we need to get the word out that, that we've rejected, at least from our point, a fence, which is not all that, it's, as I say, it's not a wall. It doesn't have, broken glass across the top. But on the other hand, we're trying to send a message that when people are considering putting a wall up in front of their house, we'd like them to consider our feelings that it undermines the community feeling of our neighborhoods. It sends a message that the neighborhood is dangerous or people are worried about their safety. Of course, some people are, but I don't think it's the kind of message we want to send out about our community more generally. So, committee, I think, we recommended approval last time, 2 months ago, maybe, for the property on Camarillo, but I think that was an exception. And I think generally we'd like to send a message out broadly that there's opposition to these kind of walls. And I felt like the other board members, ought to have a chance to speak about this generally.
I see Kevin's hand.
Yep.
I agree with you, Rand.
I'm sorry, Kevin, go ahead, say that again.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to say, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Ren, but at the same time, what right do we have to say to a private property owner that they're not allowed to put up a fence or a wall like that? I mean, you may be of the opinion that it sends a message or a signal to the surrounding community that we don't feel that our neighborhood is safe, or that property owner doesn't feel that it's safe. But who are we to tell them? Maybe they don't feel safe. Maybe they want to put that in front of their house. I mean, I think it might be your opinion, but I think it's important to hear what the property owner has to say and their reasoning behind why they might want it. I don't think it necessarily is. I don't think you can just, have a blanketly just say that it sends this overall signal to the rest of the community that we don't feel our neighborhood is safe. So that's just my input on it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I think how much impact we'll really have at building and safety in terms of our recommendations versus what the homeowner wants, that's still up in the air. But I think we do have a right to send a message to, not only this homeowner, but homeowners in general, that they need to, think about the broader community while they're making a decision about a wall or a fence in front of their property. I think we have that right. I mean, that's, we're not saying yes or no for whatever fence or whatever. We just, kind of register our opinion as the project goes by. But we're given that right, of course, by the planning department in the city. They send these things to us when somebody sends in a request. And it is it's an exception to the rules, because the rule is that the wall or fence or whatever needs to be set back 15 feet. If they want to go more than 42 inches, they need to go back 15 feet. So that's the current law. Now the city council can change that. Planning department can recommend that be changed. But right now, the general rule is that it's 42 inches. So, I think we have a right to weigh in on these things.
I see Tess has a quick comment for us, I believe.
Yeah, thank you. So two things. First, Kevin, and then Ren, back to Ren. So Kevin, it's not just a rule, it's code. It's LA Municipal Code. And, and the code exists for a reason. In fact, Ryan Altoon made a very good case for a wall being built over the 3-foot height limit on Navajo several months ago at a meeting. And I happen to agree with him. A wall that is built higher than code permits it's not code compliant. And that's the basis for a complaint, or it would require a variance. But back to Ren, I'm still not clear why this item that was disposed of in committee is being brought forward again when we voted it down, and including you. So that the general discussion should ensue. Is that going to be the case for any other item in any other committee that's voted down? I'm just curious.
Okay, and Kevin, I see Kevin's
Real quick,
hand.
so I want to say overarching real estate. I go back to Kevin real quick, and then and then we're not voting on this tonight. I want everyone to know we're just discussing, and then this might come up something else next month or 2 months from now. So
I'll make it quick. Tess, I'm aware of the municipal code. In reference to the example that you just gave of Ryan Altoon, part of the reason for that was because his neighbor was building a wall completely rogue and was going at it and wasn't going through the proper channels. So that's the whole story there. I mean, look, I just think that to take a viewpoint of this for this council to take a stance that we're against people putting walls up. I don't know. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. There might be, depending on the situation, maybe somebody's had, their life threatened, or maybe, there are a variety of other reasons. So I just think that it's important to look at the whole picture and to, hear people's reasoning behind why they want to do what they want to do to their own property.
Yeah, and I would also like to say that if we lived in a gated community where all the houses looked identical and somebody decided to put up a 6-foot wall and everybody else had a 3-foot wall, I would understand the rationale. I do understand that it is on the edge of the sidewalk, so I can understand why there would be a code for a 3-foot fence. But it is a community where literally they are bulldozing houses and building giant houses with whatever design they want to put. And I think it should really be a case by case. I don't know that we should have a blanket statement, because if you look at the Kern estate, they put up what, a 10-foot wall. So, I think it's got to be a case by case. I don't know necessarily that we have, other than code, which is in place, and we should make sure we follow that. But, it is not a gated community with a set look of housing.
I'm going to take one more comment from the board, and that's going to be Jonathan Gregory, and we have to move forward. We'll be here all night.
Yeah, my comment is actually time oriented. That it's a sensible thing. You all want to talk about it, or you don't want to talk about it, whatever. But I did want to tell you that I watched the committee Plum deal with this, and they did a really equitable job in the committee. And frankly, I wouldn't think to override anyone else's opinion that was assigned the task. And they actually invested a lot of time and analyzed all the different aspects, including what were the specific motivations by the applicant owners in the house. So it was a real sensitive conversation, Kevin, so that it wasn't at all abusive or anything like that. It had everybody, it was a consultant that was speaking for the owner. But in any case, the point I'm making is that they did a good job in the committee to analyze it, and whatever they decided is, I would defer to them because that's their expertise in that committee. Thanks.
Thank you. Any stakeholder comments?
I don't see any. Oh, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. Unmute yourself, please.
Hi.
Oops, sorry. I pushed the wrong button.
Thank you very much. I'm Kathy Siliba, stakeholder. I feel very strongly that I'd like to see actually the neighborhood council down the road at some point to ask or require that the city of Los Angeles actually enforce their code, the code for the height limit. If you drive through, the walls are one thing, but you can always plant a hedge on the other side of the wall. Hedges are amazing in this neighborhood. The newer homes that are going up are automatically planting large hedges. Hedges go way above 10 feet, which are the same, and that also does not follow the 42-inch rule. I would like to see the city of Los Angeles actually enforce the 42-inch rule as the city of Burbank did. And if you just drive through our neighborhoods, and when you come across a wall or a large hedge, imagine if every house on that street had a hedge or a wall that was higher than 42 inches, more like 6 feet, 10 feet, we will be driving around through alleys, frankly. And because they're right up against the the sidewalks, always they are. And again, this is a frontal part of the property, not the side part of the property. Side boundaries are higher than 42 inches, but I feel very strongly that it makes sense for this council to look into this perhaps a little bit deeper and make a recommendation to the city of Los Angeles to just enforce the code. And then if there are exceptions, I would agree with going to the land use committee of the GTLNC, make the case. And then however that, whether it moves forward or not, can be under the jurisdiction of the neighborhood council. But I think that, thank you for listening.
Thanks, Kathy.
Oh,
And
have
I'm gonna
John
go next, I see John and Michelle Hales.
Colby, this is Jermaine. We established developer guidelines thanks to Brandon Whalen Castellano and Ren. I don't know where those are available, but I think that's a good starting point for, you know, the neighborhood council. And if we could get those up on the website, Ren, that would be terrific.
Next, yes, thanks, Tess. I see John and Michelle Hales. You are unmuted.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear. Hi, John.
John Hales. Just a quick statement. My wife and I, for the past 2.5 years, have gone through 321 Zoom meetings of various neighborhood councils across Los Angeles. And the one thing that every one of those, all 99, they all go through a training for a process. The president does this, the secretary does that. And the committees are there to evaluate each topic. And they evaluate it, and if they feel it's necessary, they bring it to the board for a vote or an evaluation. For one of those members of the committee to take this and bypass the committee and take it to the general board, that really is a question you need to handle as an executive board. I've never seen that. Of all 321 Zoom meetings, I've never seen an individual take responsibility like that. I'm speaking as an individual myself. I have never, across all of those meetings, seen one individual come out of a committee and present it to the general board without the support of that committee. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John. Again, there's no vote tonight. There's nothing.
So one more, Ren, the last one, the Riverside Drive.
Yep.
Yes, thank you. As probably most of us have now seen, they're actually going into demolition on that property. The post office is going to be gone, and I've been talking about the post office for 2 years, and now suddenly people are calling me saying, "Do something." Too late. You know, post office is gone, and they're not going to build a backup or a new one. Our congressperson has ignored all of our requests to even comment on the post office.
10 requests, Ren, 10.
Yeah.
Just from.
So it's.
I was going on for years, at least ever since I've been around, 3 years.
Good news,
So
we
it's-
might have a different congressperson depending on where you are within the neighborhood. I think we were redistricted for part of the neighborhood.
Can I just say, I was informed today by someone who is friends or knows really well the developer of that property. And I was told today that the August 1st, they're going to cut off all the power of that entire block. And then on August 3rd, they are going to demo. And they have a lot of work to do because they have to separate all the concrete from the electrical, from the air ducts, so that's going to take a while. But unless something gets pushed back, it sounds like August 1st, they're shutting off the power, and August 3rd, they're going to demo. And then I was also told that there's going to be some information about this project coming out in the news in the next, I can't remember if he said a week or a couple of weeks, that this was actually not necessarily a TOC project, that it kind of got pushed through, and that also the post office may move to a trailer in the back. And the last thing was that it is going to be a Gelson's, that it is the understanding that it was going to be 3 retail stores is in fact Gelson's divided by 3. So the deli will be 1, the wine bar or wine whatever or alcohol will be 1, and then the market will be 1. So that's how they got around the 3 retail spaces. And I've also heard that there's 1 floor of underground parking, and they're going to shore that up before they build the building. So there is going to be some movement on this project soon.
Okay.
Yeah, as Randy, probably, I don't know if you've spoken, I spoke with, I mean, if you have more about 1057, a little more, I have a little bit more, slightly more,
Okay.
but not much more than Robin said.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ren. Thank
All
you,
right,
Fred.
Ren, I had a question about the Foreman underpass. Have you seen anything that says it's been approved by the city, or is that just a phone call you had that they said?
Just a phone call. I've asked for copies of it. I don't even have a draft of what their letter is, so let alone the finished signed
With Jeff Brill, has it been Jeff Brill still or someone else?
No,
Okay.
Jeff has been the contact.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are reaching the end of the 1057 saga. It's been a long road. Okay, we won't go into any more of that. Thanks, Ren. Fred, anything else?
No, we're going to move on to public safety.
Okay.
We have a motion T, to submit a letter of support for LAPD from the GTLNC to Eric Garcetti. Proposed letter available at gtlnc.org. Do I have a first?
Tess.
Thank you, Tess. Do I have a second?
Lee.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tess and Lee. This letter came about because of Jonathan, and he submitted to me a little while ago a very good draft of this, and it was his idea to commend the LAPD and to give some guidance going forward on how to benefit our community from a safety standpoint and mental health standpoint. And that was the origin of this letter. Jonathan could probably talk even more about it. I just went through and I'm an English major, so I had to do a few things here, but it was the same letter you see before you right now, essentially. There's a little typo that Jonathan pointed out that we'll have to amend if we want to vote this through. On the second page, the bottom, the last sentence, it should say progressing instead of processing. And there's little things I'm sure we can add or subtract. But we'll open this up for discussion.
I don't see any hands.
Hi, Catherine.
One, Catherine.
I don't. So I have a couple things. The first one is this isn't really just a letter of support for the LAPD. It's a letter of action. We're requesting specific things. So I think that should be clarified in the motion language. We are asking for something from the city council. And, I think that's more appropriate than simply writing a blanket letter of support. That would be kind of meaningless, but I'm just not sure of the necessity of this. And I also don't really understand the first paragraph
My
of the second page.
Just I mean, Tess has her hand raised. I'm sure Jonathan will say my first information. My question is, I want to reach beyond, reach up to the higher echelons of our city government and start probing up there. Tess, you have a more eloquent way of putting this. Tess.
Hi. So I think it's necessary and it's a very good idea, whether it's a letter or a request for action. And you may be right on that. A request for action would be more appropriately called that. But we're down to 93 officers in our area. It normally would be 124. They are being pulled left and right. They're retiring early and they're difficult to replace. And I think the police have taken a beating from lots of social, some protests. Sometimes it's well-deserved, and I don't think anybody should be shielded because of a badge or status of any kind. However, I do believe that all the police officers I've ever come in contact with, which is relatively minimal, have been decent people, like Curtis Delbar, Rob Benavides before him, Nancy Reeves before him, and the various officers, Sean Smith in Studio City, who, I interface with both personally and on behalf of the organization I represent. So I think it's very important that the LAPD hear that we support them and that we appreciate them and that we do something to make that appreciation evident. This letter, I think, is a very good idea, and I support it.
Thanks, Tess. I see Ren. Hi, Ren.
Yeah, I have a question, I guess, to Erica. This letter is addressed to the mayor. Is this the proper way to address this kind of an issue? Go directly to the mayor, or are we required by Dunn to use some other means to communicate all this?
I'll say that for request of action letters, I have seen multiple types of these letters go to the council members. So in terms of directing this directly to the mayor, I would need to double check, but yeah, I'm gonna have to double check on that.
All right, I see Jonathan.
Thank you. My recollection is that it was addressed to the mayor and the city council, every member of the city council. Is that not right?
It's to the mayor and the city council.
That's right. Okay. So I think the mayor is a courtesy. I don't really think it matters whether the mayor is addressed to the city council. So that's not an important point for me anyways. What I did want to add though, is that I always go back to an expression that I learned a long time ago, and it's from Benjamin Franklin. And he always said, not planning is planning to fail. In terms of a neighborhood council, I think we have to have a strategy. I made it my business in the last 2 months to understand what's going on out there in the streets the best I could. I read the municipal code. I went out to all of our freeway sites, Caltrans sites. I looked at exactly what's going on. What I can report back to you is our community, Greater Toluca Lake, is, in my estimation, in a crisis. It's an emergency, what's going on out there. And I think as a council, we need to have a plan. And I think that's not just what this letter does, is to let our police know and the city council know that they are more than welcome. And in fact, my experiences are like Tess's in the community. They're great. I mean, maybe there are problems, individual problems, but overall, we depend on them. And our voice is our only weapon, our only strength, I should say, rather than weapon. I also took the time to look into the future. What's happening here? It's getting more aggressive. Lewis was very generous, but he didn't tell you some of the things we know. What's going on is getting more aggressive, it's getting more numerous, and it's getting filthier. So we go 2 steps forward and then 1 step or 2 steps or even 3 steps backwards within a week. The plan is, I believe, we have to make a good relationship with our police. We have to make a good relationship with Mr. Krokarian's office, the council member. We have to make a good relationship with also our, how to call it, Tess? I forget the word. Mr. Nazarian, his title.
Okay. Our assembly member.
Assembly member, okay. So, and I think these are just crucial that we do these sort of things. Additionally, our tools are the ordinances, the LAMC. So we have to request, if our voice isn't going out somewhere to attract the type of attention that we calculate we need in our community, I don't think we're doing all we can be doing. Thank you.
I'm just going to echo that. And what what I see is us reacting on the ground to all the decisions that are being made well above our heads. And what I liked about this idea, this letter that Jonathan, put forth, was that we reach up above, and we're doing more, I think, than we were doing before as neighborhood council by stretching ourselves and reaching out more. And that's something I think it's our responsibility to do. Anyway, any more comments? We do need to move forward.
I agree, Colby.
Yes, Tess?
I agree, Colby.
I'm all for making a basket of muffins to take to the North Hollywood police station.
Okay.
Any
Stakeholders have any comments or questions on this? If we were to vote on, I think we'd have to amend that typo, just write in that typo as amendment. And then should there be CC, as amended, and maybe CC, because I have to change the address to reflect the city council members the address of the city council, and maybe CC CD2 at the bottom here.
Point of order and question, Colby. How is the filing of a request for action different from a CIS? Is it the same, or is it different?
Maybe Erica can shine the light on this.
Erica, great.
Hi, Erica.
Tess, I'll answer your question in a second, but I did want to note that I did take some time to review some slides that our department had shared during a workshop, and in those slides, it does state that a request for action should be addressed to the NC's council member. There's no mention, and I know that Jonathan mentioned that it wasn't too important about it being addressed to the mayor, but there's no mention of a request for action being addressed to a mayor or to the general city council. So I would advise that, to be on the safe side, that the request for action be addressed to your NC's city council member.
Okay.
Is it specifically excluded, Erica?
There's no mention of exclusion, but it also specifies that a request for action should be addressed to the NC's council member. So I would encourage you all to make that amendment if possible.
So we could add that to, because there's nothing that says we can't also send it to the mayor and the city council members generally.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right? So we'll amend that.
Right.
Okay, we'll make that amendment as amended, and then the typo, fixing the typo. And as far as CCing, anyone have ideas on CCing? Anyone CC? If not, we'll just move forward. Okay, we'll just do that as the
Colby?
council member. And
Colby?
Yes.
On the CC, you saw that anyone mentioned in it should be CC'd in, since I mentioned Officer Del Bar.
Okay, I'll do that.
It's just courtesies. I mean, I'm not.
And I would mention also Captain Mohammadi and maybe the chief of police, I forget his name, Michael
Moore.
Anyway, we can get his name.
Okay, so the chief of police.
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore, thank you.
Michael Moore, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to read motion T, Colby.
Yes, please.
Motion T, to submit a letter of support for LAPD from the GTLNC to Eric Garcetti. Proposed letter available at gtlnc.org as amended. Catherine, how do you vote?
No.
There we go. Arthur,
Yes.
Robin, I'm a yes. I'm all for supporting the police. Shannon,
Yes.
Ren,
Yes.
Fred,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes, and I gotta drop off, guys. So
All
sorry.
right, thank you, Matt. Feel better.
Feel better, yeah, get better.
Lee,
Affirmative.
thank you. Susanna is excused. Jonathan,
Yes.
Tess?
I vote yes. Did Matt vote?
Yes, he did. He voted yes. Kevin?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta look at the time, 9:45. Sean
Yes.
and Jake
Yes.
and Colby.
Yes.
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 yeses and 1 no, I see.
13 yeses, 1 no. That would make 14. Yep.
Good.
13, 1, 0. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, July 5th, we had an abbreviated meeting due to the holiday because it was July 4th. So we had our meeting on the 5th. It went very well, quick. Traveling this summer, lock your side gates, use cameras and lighting, and alert your neighbors when you go out of town. Let people know that you're leaving town so that they can keep an eye on your house. Get on the neighborhood watch for your street. Very important. If you're not on a watch, please contact me and I will find your watch captain, or maybe you will become the watch captain. And then National Night Out. Tess, you want to take that on?
Sure. National Night Out is Tuesday, August 2nd from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. It will take place at Whitsett Sports Complex, which is located at 6950 Whitsett Avenue in North Hollywood. National Night Out, for those who may not know, it's nationwide. It enhances the relationship between neighbors and law enforcement and brings back a true sense of community while providing a great opportunity to bring police and neighbors together under positive circumstances.
I'm trying to figure out where it's at.
What's that?
Nope, nope. Thank you.
Oh,
So
where?
It's
go ahead.
National Night Out, August 2nd from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. If anybody wants more details, you can email me tess.taylor@gtlnc.org. I'll make sure I get this to Robin for inclusion in the newsletter. And also a related police event, the North Hollywood Police Station is having an open house this Sunday, July 24th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They are located at 11640 Burbank Boulevard in North Hollywood. There will be K-9 officers, station tours, the LAPD dive team, communications, and more. Free food for the first 250 people. So Sunday, July 4th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., North Hollywood Police Station open house. I think that's a good place and time for your muffins, Robin, and to go show our support for Curtis Delbar and all of his fellow officers.
And I have to tell you, I have gone to this event, which is a rare experience to be able to go to the police station and not feel like you're a criminal. You actually get to go and tour the police station, and everything's kind of festive, and a lot of the police chiefs are there, and you do get tours. And one time I even saw like a little pony some guy brought that, you know, he uses for different events. So there's a lot of fun stuff that goes on. I recommend just stopping by. They really do appreciate when the community does come by. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
That's it for public safety. We're going to move on to outreach.
Hello. So the outreach committee is starting to prep for our election, which seems like it's a long way off, but it's not. It will be in June of next year. We expect that the candidate filing period will probably be around February, March. So we're going to work on promoting the GTLNC as a whole, as well as the election. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to try to staff a booth at the Toluca Lake Farmers Market so we can improve awareness of GTLNC. And so we'll be in touch with all of you about signing up to potentially work that booth. We're also going to be submitting the polling location form, which we voted on last month. So we'll be doing that this week. And we are seeking stakeholders to join the Outreach and Elections Committee, as well as other committees. So if you are interested in getting more involved, please get in touch. You can head over to gtlnc.org to find contact information for all of the committee chairs. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Kathy.
All right, environmental affairs. Did you speak on environmental? No.
No, I mean, I think at this point, it's not an active committee. I still think it would be great if we could find someone who is interested in being the Neighborhood Council Sustainability Alliance rep for the GTLNC. This is basically a liaison position, so you don't actually need to be on the GTLNC board. You can be a stakeholder.
Do you want to put a button on the website, like for, for candidates or, for.
I don't know that button will get clicked. I've been putting this on the agenda for the last year. So.
Okay. Well, the buttons, the people like the buttons. I'll tell you that much. They worked before. So.
I'm glad to hear it. As outreach chair, I am glad my contribution to our website was efficient and effective. All right. Yeah, that's it for environmental.
Thank you. Thank you, Catherine. We're going to move on to governmental committee.
So, so Tess Taylor here, Governmental Affairs Committee. I just want a quick note to public attendees, John and Michelle Hales. John and or Michelle, if you're still in the house, I'd love to connect with you. Drop me a line, tess.taylor@gtlnc.org. That would be terrific. So I will first give the quick update of what we did in our last meeting. We had a wonderful guest, Steve Ferguson, who is the district director for Adrin Nazarian in the 46th district.
Wait, I'm so sorry, Tess. I don't mean to interrupt, but are you going to go into motion U first?
I thought I would give the update first, but we can do the motion first if you wish.
Okay. I think it would be best to open the motion and then you can discuss it.
We'll go ahead and open the motion, discussion and possible vote. The Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, also known as DUN, wants to rename the Budget Advocates account to Budget Advocacy. This could redirect funds from their intended purpose without the Neighborhood Council's approval. I'll read the motion. It's motion U. Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council opposes Council File 11-102-S3. Neighborhood councils form alliances when they want to join together to work on something of common interest. Our neighborhood council wants the ability to direct our funds to a specific alliance and not to a fund allocated without our input. Do I have a first?
Oh, actually, Erica has her hand raised. Make sure we're doing it. Erica?
Yes, I'd like to make a comment on this topic, but I can wait.
Okay, I'll first it.
Okay, Colby, thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Ren. Go ahead and open the discussion, Tess.
So this somewhat innocuous appearing proposal is not innocuous. This is something to voice our strong preference to retain the right to choose who will get our funds. And the proposal is to change the wording from budget advocates, which is an organization, to budget advocacy, which is not. And that would open the possibility that these funds that are voted on and allocated specifically by neighborhood councils for the budget advocates for whatever purpose would not go to that intended purpose. And this is problematic for a number of people. This was voted on and discussed a great deal at the Valley Alliance of Neighborhood Councils a week or two ago, who are very much opposed to this proposal. And I'm happy to give more background to anyone who may wish to hear it.
Can I get a call on?
Okay,
Erica.
What about Erica? Yeah.
Hi, Erica.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that our department provided a comprehensive statement on this issue. And so I would advise anyone who hasn't reviewed our statement to please do so. We do provide some explanation to this council file in addition to providing a few FAQs. So just to give you an idea here, we do answer questions in regards to, our neighborhood councils able to contribute funds to alliances, who recognizes the alliances and gives them the official status. Just a couple more here. Are the funds in the current budget advocacy special fund account available to the budget advocates? Does the department recognize the will of the entities where this is concerned? And so we do list a few more FAQs, but again, I would advise you to please review our statement before taking a position. In addition to that, I do just want to read off a few highlights that were provided in the case that you don't have the time to review our statement, but I'll go ahead and read them off here. So the purpose of this requested action is to the City Council to correct the ordinance language. The Neighborhood Council Budget Advocates was not created by the city charter, but by neighborhood council leaders, which we recognize are value services to the neighborhood council system. The department is in close communication with the Neighborhood Council Budget Advocates on the subject for over a year when the problem presented itself to the department. At this time, alliances are not eligible for neighborhood council funding. More discussion will be required to assess how NCs can contribute to alliances as they are independent organizations and also eligible for neighborhood purpose grants. The department fully intends to honor the contributions made by NCs to the budget advocacy special funds. The department has worked closely with the budget advocates to administer the funds. And then lastly, funds contributed to the special fund can only be used to advance Section 909 of the Los Angeles City Charter to advance neighborhood council budget advocacy. So again, those were just a few highlights of what was listed in our statement. And we do offer some FAQs on that statement as well. So again, if you have not had the chance to review our statement, I would strongly advise you to do so before voting. Thank you.
I can address a few of those items unless there are questions or comments.
I don't see any. No.
Okay, so again, this is purely a matter of sovereignty. And I've stated this before, Erica, I think you're lovely and I enjoy working with you, full stop. I do believe, however, that Dunn sometimes exceeds the scope of its authority. It is an organization that was created to administer and support and not to police. And I believe, while this is not precisely policing, I think this is an overstep of Dunn's authority. The budget advocates were created early in the 2000s with the infancy or the birth of the neighborhood council system to comply with Section 909 of the LA City Charter, as you did mention. This was Mayor Hahn's idea, and each region elected people to represent their concerns. It turned out to be too onerous to have all 99 neighborhood councils meet with the mayor. Therefore, the budget advocates were created. It went through Mayor Hahn and then through Mayor Villaraigosa, morphed into a neighborhood council, budget advocate, and then began repping neighborhood councils not by way of the mayor. At that time, the mayor's staffer was transitioned to Dunn, and the budget advocates lost their paid administrative staff and representative. So there's plenty of documentations of the existence of this group in various council files, bylaws, et cetera. So I want to recommend that we vote to maintain our ability to direct funds where we wish them to go. That's all this motion does and says. And I do thank you for your feedback on this, Erica.
Okay, and I don't see any other comments, so I guess we would move this to a vote.
Okay, we'll move it to the vote. So just to.
All right, so we need to read the motion again.
I will do that. Thank you. Hold on. Let me pull up my note here. So okay, here's the motion. Motion U. The Greater Toluca Lake Neighborhood Council opposes Council File 11-1020-S3. Neighborhood councils form alliances when they want to join together to work on something of common interest. Our neighborhood council wants the ability to direct our funds to a specific alliance and not to a fund allocated without our input. So a yes vote opposes this council file. A no vote does the opposite. Is that clear?
No vote wants to keep it pretty much the way it is now, and a yes vote is to change.
A no vote opposes this this motion. So call for a vote.
Okay, I will read the, I'll do the roll call. Catherine, how do you vote?
No.
Arthur?
I'm confused. So what does a yes vote do?
Abstain. Abstain. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to have,
Okay,
Clarification.
okay. We oppose this council file, so voting yes, Arthur, preserves our sovereignty as a neighborhood council, preserves our ability to direct the funds where we wish. That is what a yes vote will do.
Okay, yes.
Thank you, Arthur.
okay, Robin, I'm going to abstain. Shannon, oh, wait,
Yes.
is this, wait, is
The
this
financial, is it
funds,
financial?
financial?
Probably.
Shannon is ineligible. Ren? Ren? Oh, are you thinking? It's a long night.
Yes.
Thank you. Fred?
Yes.
Matt? Oh, Matt's, sorry, he has left the meeting. Lee?
That's affirmative on the condition of what we can do with what we want with our money for our council.
Thank you.
All right. Susanna is excused. Jonathan?
Same as Shannon.
Jonathan? Oh, sorry.
Jonathan can't.
You're right. Thank you. Sorry. Tess?
Yes.
Oops. Kevin?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
And Jake?
It wasn't vote. It's a financial.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thank
How
you.
about
Sorry,
you?
it's
How
late,
about you?
guys. I'm tired. Colby?
Yes.
All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yeses.
One,
We have
one no,
1 no.
and then no
and 1
abstention.
abstain.
They're all
So
in. That's it.
Catherine, the abstain would be in the
Sure.
right column.
Yeah, yours abstention, right?
Okay, because I voted. That's what I
Yeah,
voted.
yeah. So the abstain would be in the right column.
So 8, 1, 1. Motion carries. Thank you, Tess.
So Robin, you abstained, is that right?
I did. I
Okay.
did.
So to carry on and close this meeting out with the shortest committee report ever, we had a terrific discussion with our district director, Steve Ferguson, from Assemblymember Edrin Nazarian's office. Thank you for suggesting guest speakers, Ren. I will keep them coming as long as the committee desires and approves it. We discussed housing, homelessness, and public safety. There will be a fair amount of detail in the meeting minutes for those who may wish more information. I gave a summary of pending legislation that we're tracking. Again, that is mostly density, building, and homeless shelters type of legislation. That will be detailed as well. As Ren mentioned, the legislature is now in recess, but I think it will be important to continue to track this and see what's up. I'm going to be getting a list of all of Adrin's voting, voting positions up to date from Steve Ferguson, which is terrific. We discussed the, Regional Housing Needs Assessment, otherwise known as RHNA, Reform Public Information and Input Session, which took place on July 6th. I believe that predated the meeting. Yes, I attended that the next day, but I will give a summary of that at the next meeting, as well as RHNA reform. There are a lot of people and a lot of data and a lot of groups that are upset at the enormous amount of housing units that are being imposed upon the entire state of California. A lot of people are pushing back. The state auditor has completed a report and audit of the methodology being substandard. That was gone over in committee. And I think that about sums it up. Let's see, there are some upcoming meetings on RHNA reform. The next ones are August 1st at 9:30 a.m. Monday, bright and early, and August 15th, 9:30 a.m. All of those are on the meeting agenda. And I'm happy to take any questions between meetings. People can reach me at tess.taylor@gtlnc.org. That's it for me.
Wonderful. Colby, new business?
I don't see any hands raised. I see Catherine. Yes.
Catherine?
I'm going to resign from the board at the end of the month. And I really want to correct Colby. I have enjoyed working with you. Truly, truly, this is not a reflection on your leadership. You've been amazing. I'm just not super comfortable with the direction of the board as a whole, and how these meetings make me feel. You know, people weren't willing to step up, and it just leaves a handful of us taking on too much, and it burns you out. And I truly, Colby, Robin, I can't say enough good things about you. You've been so dedicated, which is beside the point. I don't,
you, Catherine.
Well, you too, Kat.
I don't see my feelings
I
changing
don't-
right now. So I'm going to serve the community in another way and open the seat for someone that might step up and actually take on secretary. And Matt's going to kill me, but I will let him know I'm still going to stay on outreach.
Good.
Yeah, July 31st will be my last day as a board member. I'll coordinate handing off everything. Actually, Colby, I guess there's now another vacancy. So,
Well, I mean, let's just, you know, it's a long night. Can we talk tomorrow? I mean, you don't have to do this right now. Let's talk tomorrow. Okay? You just do that? You don't have to do this right now. Do you have to?
okay.
We're all tired. Let's just talk tomorrow. Okay? Is that okay? Please?
Sure. I'll put a pause on this for now.
Okay, good. I mean, you can still do it, and you probably will do it, but I just want to talk.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any other comments right now? New business?
Thank you for your help with the bylaws, Catherine. That was a lot of work.
Yeah, I guess I did achieve the one thing I said I was going to do.
You
So
did it.
checked a box.
Well, the standing rules too.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, and that being said, that is why we are going to take the month of August off. We hope that you all get a lot of rest, refresh, and come back ready to work in September. You know, please try to, going forward, we've seen such a change in this board and trying to work together. And it's really, Colby, I attribute so much of this to you. You have been a great leader. Thank you so much for all the hard work you did this year. And we look forward to you being the president again the following year.
No,
So
thank you for everybody. I really don't say a whole lot. I just push, you know, I don't know.
no, behind the scenes,
you know, everyone does so much. You know, and I'm really excited about the new board members, and I really see great energy, and of course the existing board members, and everything's evolving very well, I think. So it's been a late night, and I think we should close the meeting. And,
yes.
thank you so much
And
for
the
your
next
confidence
meeting
in
will
me
be
and the votes, and thank you so much. This is an ongoing learning experience for me, and it's you know, in some ways it's very life-changing, and I really appreciate it. I thank all of you for teaching me so much.
And our next meeting will be Tuesday, September 20th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Thank you all very much and have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Thank you.